Very good afternoon from Sydney Harbour for Monday racing, which is unusual for the 18-foot skiffs, but we're back here for two races, the fourth and fifth heat of the Australian Championship. A very good afternoon as the rain squall appears to be coming over the fleet. And I'm Peter Shipway, and as usual, Jimmy Bury and Andrew Buckland will be bringing you this live stream on behalf of Sale Media. We've seen three thrilling races so far in the first heats of this 100th running of the Australian 18-foot title. But the breeze, well, we've got something very strange today. There's a lot of rain's about to descend on the race course. You can see that looking into Double Bay towards Shark Island. There's a big rain squall coming down. The breeze earlier the day was in the southeast, but now, well, it's everywhere. So to tell you where it is and where it isn't, here's Andrew Buckland.
Oh, thanks, Pete. Sold me the dump. Yeah, strange days indeed. We talked yesterday about the location of the low pressure cell in the central Tasman Sea, high pressure cell south of Hobart. Not much has changed. The middle of the low, if anything, closer than it was yesterday. It's come south. But now we've got local cell-affected wind direction from the southwest. And the models were unanimous in predicting, 16 to 20 south-southwest, sort of similar to yesterday, but it's not what's happening on the racetrack. So let's see what happens, but this score, which is coming in, looks like it'll turn the wind at least probably back towards south to south-southwest, but let's see what happens.
Well, Jimmy Bury, I'll bring you in now with committee boat and start boats down off Nielsen Park. And what do we know about the course?
G'day, Pete. Yeah, today's Windward Lords again, same as yesterday. The committee boat signalled 6 over 2, which 2 laps, so 2 beats to Windward. So we're down here, as you said, off Nelson Park, work up to mark sort of where Double Bay is, and then run back down, do 2 laps of that, and re-line up and do another race.
Well, as the rain starts to tumble down here, we're just that's Nielsen Park Beach in the background. That might be disappearing as this rain comes in, but it's going to get a lot heavier. But let's recap so far. We've had 3 races, 3 outstanding races, and Andu has probably been the standout performer. They've had a first, a second and a first in the 3 races, and they clearly lead the scoreboard, but it's very early days. 7 heat series, and we're not even halfway through yet. But Sevi Jarvin, Matt Stenter and Sam Newton have really staked a claim for this title in the early stages. They're on 4 points lost. And second place is the defending champion, Tech 2, Jack McCartney, Charlie Wyatt and Lewis Brake. They've had a third, fifth and second. And third is the Rag and Famish, Harry Price, with a 4, 6 and 4. Then Noakes Sailing was 6, 3 and 5. Lazarus Capital Partners, that's Marcus Ashley Jones. He's 5th. And Smeg, Michael Coxon. They're defending, they are the JJ Gilton champions. They've had a solid start in the first 2 races. They had a second and they won the first race yesterday, but then they had a massive capsize, went in second place in the second race yesterday. And Jimmy, you spoke to Michael Coxon. What happened to them with that capsize?
Yeah, I had a quick chat to Coco in the park. He literally was out on wing, he's not sure what happened, but he fell into the boat, taking the tiller with him, and subsequently that was enough to round the boat, jam him, and have a nice long swim.
But that was just a product of a big puff, yeah?
No, he said he was comfortable on wing, all happy, and he just slipped off the wing and slid in, and because the wings are actually higher than the boat, the natural pendulum is to swing into the boat, and he went flying in, and so next minute on the riding lever.
A bit of extra bounce in the sea state possibly then.
Something small, as he said, he goes, it was a very unusual feeling.
Yeah. Well, it was very windy though, Pete, wasn't it? It was, distinctly, we weren't too far away, and it looked like it might have been up towards 25 knots, the puff. And
they got some good puffs, didn't they, down that run? But at the moment, as we're looking at into Watson's Bay, you can hardly see the skiffs. The camera's not doing this rain justice. It is absolutely tumbling down. We're off Nielsen Park. We can't even see Bradley's Head. We can't see Shark Island. But it does seem to be clearing a bit to the southeast. It is absolutely bucketing down. But there's the race point score leader, Andu, Sevi Jarvan, Sam Newton and Matt Stenter. They've done a pretty fine job so far with a very solid 1, 2 and 1 in the 3 races. And it'll certainly be another good test today if they can find the weather mark, because there's no way you can see it now with this rain. But it does look to be clearing, Andrew, over Rose Bay. And as you said, that'll be interesting to see once it does clear what happens to this wind.
Well, it's rotated about 60 degrees on the face of this bit of rain. And but as we know, it might get suppressed and just trickle back to the right. Don't know. I mean, it would seem difficult for it not to return eventually to the south-southeast, but the cells have to stop turning up, don't they?
But not too wet in here, though.
No, we're very comfortable. But
Noted, Jimmy, noted. Thank you.
so as tradition has it for this Australian Championship, which I mentioned earlier is the 100th running of the Australian titles, this race is named after a famous former 18-foot skiff sailor in Bill Barnett from New South Wales, a 4-time winner and a great name in skiff sailing, the Barnett name on Sydney Harbour. So his name will be perpetuated in this 4th heat today. And today's race sponsor is Ilvay. Been a long time sponsor of the 18-foot skiffs, but that's the scene as we look back down towards the heads, which you can just make out. That's Watson's Bay with a dip, which is the gap. And then as we move round, we'll see Bottle and Glass shortly, and then Nielsen Park. And the rain is now lifted as we look upwind, but the wind hasn't returned. It's very light still here, what, about 8 knots at best, but still in the southwest, I think.
A bit more than that, Pete, isn't it? Looking upwind here now.
Yes, 9, you're right. It's 9 knots. Perfect.
And
Absolutely.
We didn't mention that the tide, we're in the first 2 hours of the ebb for the second 2 hours of the ebb for the 2 races. We'll cover it. Quite a bit of flow, but a bit of fresh water coming out as well. So the current probably more important than we might anticipate, and the course axis, as presently set, is directly aligned against the current flow, more or less. So,
well, we can see the weather mark now, or the direction of the weather mark. The sky has cleared quite quickly. The fleets are just milling around the start boat, which is just really off Bottle and Glass, for those that know Sydney Harbour, and just to the west of Nielsen Park. There's the Royal Oak Four Pines, Aaron Everett, John Cooley and Charlie Gundy. And behind them, the Rag and Famish and Shaw and Partners. So, 7-heat series. We've got 2 races today, which will be heats 4 and 5, and then on Sunday next week, heats 6 and 7.
So, Pete, just for the viewers, Angus Williams filling in on the main sheet today on the mighty Finport.
Yeah, replacing Bryce Edwards. There's our signals, Pete.
Okay, 5 minutes.
How about that?
Watch is set, and we'll be underway. So no change to the course. It's a windward beat up past Shark Island, the vicinity of Point Piper will be the weather mark. 2 windwards, 2 leewards, and that today's first race.
So this is now shaping up a test of rig adaptability at the very bottom of the rig range for all the boats on number 2 rig, which is the entire fleet.
So what do we got at maximum? We've got 10 knots maximum
at the moment. Yep.
Yeah.
Perhaps a little bit more, but
So changeover for the viewers, for these guys, is 12 to 14 knots between their big rig and their little rig.
So there's the committee vessel.
So they'll be softening their side say tensions, and
I think they're going to an AP, I think. Yes.
Yeah, AP.
Yeah, we're on postponement. The red flags came down, so we're on postponement because the breeze has died and probably gone left, as you suggested, Andrew, I think.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to look at the course axis and also the start line. That's the red and white AP, or answering pennant, on the back mast of the start vessel. And not too many spectators out today. A few ribs with interested parties, but no pleasure craft to plough across the course, we hope. And they're away from any shipping channels or ferry channels, except up into Point Piper. There might be the Rose Bay ferry occasionally. So far, it looks a good runway for the fleet. There's Yandu with a red and blue oval. Finport, who yesterday had a massive capsize right at the finishing line in the second race. Burrawang and Finport were barrelling into the finish and ended up quite a spectacular swim for Keegan York and his boys aboard the Finport right on the finishing line. Finport currently in 8th position on the points table, just one behind Yandu. There's Finport. What's happening with this wind, Andrew?
Well, Pete, look at that. I mean, you'd say it's about 200 compass, perhaps 190, and certainly down right at the bottom of the rig range, so probably barely double figures now.
Yes, well, just looking around Steel Point and Rose Bay, Shark Island area, it's very light. Sky clearing and the rain, that savage rain squall's gone behind us and out of the way for the moment, but left over is not much wind.
How's the air temperature, Jimmy?
Good.
So the air and the ocean are the same temperature, aren't they? That's the thing.
About there.
23, 24. A little bit more wind coming down, but from the right-hand side again now, Pete. So just looking upwind of the keelboat here. 21 degrees here and 22.5 degrees in the water. Fair enough.
Yep. Well, the first 3 races have been genuine second sail breezes.
Yeah.
Some boats have even had reefs in both days, Yandu being one.
Yeah.
But today now it'll be a test of, with the second sail, there'll be...
the other end of the spectrum,
Other end of the spectrum, exactly right.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting because Andu, I think, has been a standout already, and I think Speg's been pretty good too. They've lifted their game considerably. They were second yesterday when they capsized. They won the first race. And Tech 2's always been there, chipping away, as you'd expect from the state champion and the defending Australian champion, as the AP flag goes down. So we're about to get underway again with starting signals.
That was a neat little postponement, wasn't it? That was good.
Yeah, I don't know. Did they move the start line? It was hard to see.
No. Might have swung the top mark, possibly. I seen a rib running up that way.
Yeah, I think they moved the top mark a bit.
And on the Shoreham Partners, so you got Tom Quigley filling in on that one there as well, Shippo.
Yes, they have today. Skipper Steve Thomas. And there's Fisher Paykel, Jordan Gertis.
Yeah, Nathan Edwards back on board. He did the runner from Belmont very quickly after the sprints for the 16s to get back.
And Ed Powery's back on board on Noakes as well.
Yep.
So.
Yes, Dave Gilmore stood in for Ed yesterday, but Ed's back, so they're up to full biff, and I believe the new boat that everyone's been talking about for Noakes will be going sailing on Wednesday. That's spoke to Ed this morning, and that's the latest news. Their parts have arrived, so that'll be interesting to see next week. But anyway, all eyes on today's race 4 of the Australian titles. Andu solidly in the lead, but it'll be interesting to see how they go today in downrange conditions.
See if that crew weight, how the crew weight thing plays out. They think they're not that fast downhill, and we'll find out today, I guess.
Well, this will be interesting, yes, to see if they how they go, if they feel they're struggling a little bit. But coming up to 4 minutes, there we go, 4 minutes. And Andrew, the start line, what are we thinking?
Well, it's terrifically well laid, but and they are constrained on this edge from the shipping channel, ferry lane type issues a bit, but it's going to be a race to the first puff, which is inevitably going to be better stream out in the middle of the creek to some degree, and not a very long runway out of the pin end, so you're going into less pressure and you're trying to get on a port, and that's not easy when you've got a few too many boats for the length of the line. So I think I'd be at the weather end and trying to get on port pretty promptly if I was.
There's not much breeze looking upwind. There's a couple of little puffs coming off Steel Point, but behind that, it's not much at all.
Well,
3 minutes 10 to go.
Yeah, so at the start line here now, we might have 12 knots at the, where the wind is fully down to the surface.
So 3 minutes.
But the air is, as we've noted, colder than the water, so that does give volatility in the bottom 10 metres or so. About the height of an Etchell rig, Jimmy.
Yep.
2 minutes 30 to go, and
Still some boats upwind of the starting line.
Yeah.
Birkenhead Point testing their luck again.
they'll get back, but just.
Yeah.
There's a couple of, looks like big voids looking upwind near Shark Island. But anyway, we're concentrating on the start area where there's reasonable pressure.
Pete, it might not be a complete, but it might just be that the wind's not, turbulent down to the water surface, not sticking to the water at all. And probably perfectly good at 5 metres up, but
2 minutes. 2 minutes to go for race 4.
problematic down the bottom.
We saw yesterday one general recall and then a individual recall, but for most of the races, the fleet have been reasonably well behaved. Certainly once the I flag goes up, they have been, but no I flag at the moment.
Pete, we'll make a prediction. Ebb tide will keep them away from the line, will be clean.
Okay.
How's that?
Fearless prediction. I like it. I like it.
Dangerous, yes. Let's go.
1.5 to go.
Yeah.
We're right on the starting line. You can see that checkered mark just above the canopy on the committee vessel, just in front of the mast with the 2 flags. 1 minute 15, and there's not much breeze here, Andrew. There's a few little spikes, but on the weather end there's more breeze than there is in the leeward end, I think.
Yeah, I don't think he can start at the leeward end.
No, Noakes is down there. He's really just drifting along, and all the major players are up here at this weather end with 1 minute to go.
Yeah. Smeg, Andu, Tech 2, Rag, all up this end. Brave to try and be down the other end. Noakes lining up for a Port Tacker, which is courageous.
Well, there's no wind down there. Look, they're just bobbling around.
Yeah, he'll be a Noakes supply there.
Oh, that maybe if they get that.
No, they get enough left. They could.
Yeah, they could. They look okay down there at the moment. 35 seconds to go, but
2 different breezes almost, isn't it?
Yeah, Yandu, Andu, Tech 2, Kitchen Maker, all up at this weather end.
And the puff that was here before has just lifted off.
Dissipated, yes. We're lucky to have 6 or 7 knots here. They're just starting to get rumbling.
The boats at the other end are barely got steerage weight.
Yeah, 15 knots, 15 seconds to go.
And they're all on the right side of the line. Noakes Blue, the only one pushing the boundaries.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. And I think we're clean. We are clean. A couple of Port Tackers at the Burrowing came across on port.
They got out of the middle. How about that?
Yandu, good start at the weather end.
And Yandu like their chances today in this lighter air.
Oh, look, there's a few boats just absolutely becalmed. There's little or no wind here. Andrew, look at this. Boats just bobbling around.
And no, they're going to
Individual.
Individual. No, wrong flag.
They don't know what they're doing. They're pulling all flags. General.
General recall. Okay. They put the individual
longest
up.
wait for a general recall I've seen in history.
They're having a little conference, I think, down the back of the boat there, mate.
Yeah. But I think, look at this breeze. I mean, it's
Yeah, it was
very
pretty
light.
unfair, wasn't it, that one?
Yeah, although Noakes got the jump down at that pin end. It means little or nothing now, but
Yeah.
the breeze went a little bit left with a little bit of pressure. It's all about pressure or lack of it, isn't it?
Yep. Pretty
So,
tough.
We're going to have another go at it, which I think is fair enough. I mean, it's just got to try and wait till this breeze stabilises, I guess, somewhat.
Could be here for a while.
We could well be, but we've got plenty of time and hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching around the world. Hope you've got your boss has given you the Monday afternoon off so you can tune in. As we just watched the old Lazarus trying to get some momentum.
Yeah. think this might be an AP of some magnitude here. It's sort of got a bit of a winter's day feel about it, hasn't it, Jimmy, where the breeze just can't get down to the water adequately.
Yeah, well, as we were saying before the start, it reminds you of the CYCA Winter Series race.
That's right.
The weather.
Some legendary days of wind shear in the winter here, where the water temperature's about 6 degrees hotter than the air. Drainage wind coming down the Parramatta River Valley into the harbour, with the air temperature around 15 and the water still at 21.
Well, if you've just joined us, and it's a Monday, I know it's unusual to be racing, but the 18s are racing. Heats 4 and 5 of the Australian title, and we're on delay. We got one start away, but it was deemed a general recall, and the breeze is very light now. That's a picture overhead looking back towards Shark Island. The weather mark is just to the right of Shark Island. The breeze is in the southwest, but very light here at the starting area at Nielsen Park. And the skiffs are just bobbling around in very, very light winds. It wouldn't be 10 knots. It'd be lucky to be 6 or 7 knots. Maybe they're going to change that weather mark. I don't know. Is that looks like a speedboat going upwind, but maybe to change the position of the weather mark.
Yeah, which way though, Pete?
Yes, which way? That's right. It's exactly right.
You'd move it left a bit, but
well, you'd think it's going to go back to the left, more into the south or southeast. But as the sky is clearing, but a few more clouds rolling in over the Rose Bay area. But at the moment, we're just waiting to wait.
But just cumulus, Pete. So not raining clouds, just signs of some convection off the ocean and land at the boundary. Jimmy's got the big glasses on. He's looking for the Windward Mark boat.
Not having much luck, Bucko, trying to find it, but I'm doing my best.
There's a speedboat.
Did you order those new prescription glasses?
Always prescription for me, mate, unfortunately.
Okay, AP is down.
God, that's gutsy stuff.
Well, there wasn't an AP, it was a general recall. Flag is down. So we're getting ready to have another go at this start for the 4th heat of the Australian titles. And the breeze is nothing to get too excited about. Probably puffs 8 knots, and probably the lull's a lot less.
How did you go, Bucko? Did you find it? Top ball?
Just standing by for the 5-minute signal.
So the mighty Burrowing just sliding past. The authors of a fabulous incident yesterday. 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes to go.
5 minuten.
We'll have another go at this start, and the breeze even looks lighter if that's possible.
Well, Pete, there is some new breeze in
Rose Bay. Yeah, it looks a bit coming, doesn't it?
Yeah. So it should reset now. You know, the rain squall's now gone past and gone far enough away that its effect is dissipating. So we're looking forward to a resumption, but then the course axis will be wrong.
Yes, that's the geometry a bit screwed up. So not that confident we'll get away, but at the moment the course signals are still up. 4 minutes 15 to go. And the fleet just milling around in light conditions, but the breeze does look to be filtering out from Rose Bay, which would signify that it's probably a left-hand shift or left of the course axis, that's for sure. But anyway, we'll see what happens. 4 minutes. Wouldn't want to get too far away from this starting line.
I was going to say, Noakes from where they are will struggle to make the line. With the river going out, Noakes about 200 metres dead downwind.
340. And Noakes is a long way downwind, you're right.
Yeah. In very little pressure in, about 4 or 5 knots of wind where he is. More pressure coming down around the corner at Nelson Park. Jimmy's found the mark to the right of the big yacht, yeah? Or to the left of the big yacht?
To
Sorry,
the left,
viewers.
where the apartment building is on Point Piper.
Okay.
We're basically pointing at it, mate.
3:20. There's Fisher Paykel up
Took
on the start
everything I
line.
had.
In port.
So plenty of blokes experimenting down the other end.
They've got to experiment and try and find the wind, I think, but the breeze is coming.
Yep.
3 minutes.
And bad waves.
Bad
3
waves,
minutes and
indeed.
bad waves.
This breeze looks left to me.
Yep.
I think it's going to be interesting off this start line. You'll want to get on port pretty quickly. 2.5 to go. And Smeg's down at the pin end. Noakes is coming up in the middle of the line.
On port.
On port, very high on port. You'd be lucky to cross this line on starboard.
Yep.
That's for sure. Tech 2's down the pin end.
So the breeze has just filled where we are. We're about 30 metres outboard of the committee boat end of the line, and we've now got about 8 knots of southerly, Pete.
2 minutes to go, and Andrew's way back, but he's got pressure down there. They all realise that it's got to start on basically on port or get on port as quick as you can. Minute 50.
Yeah, Finport on the line, sailing hard up on starboard.
1:40 to go.
So everybody trying to rack up on starboard on a line with 30, 40 degrees of bias.
Yeah. 1:25. It's really high left.
Yep.
These boats up here at the committee boat end can't get up to the committee boat at the moment.
And they're fighting with each other, which is all a bit unnecessary at this point.
It's gone way left.
And yeah, back to the southeast at the other end of the line. We can't see it on screen yet, but boats laying up to the windward
Well,
mark on port.
you can see the angle Rag and Famish is there on the right of the screen.
Rag and Famish, the
1 minute to go.
They'll blow this up.
I would anticipate they will blow this up for sure.
So there's the southeaster, Pete. How about that?
Yeah, a nice pressure too.
Yeah.
45 seconds to go. He's still under starter's orders,
Yep.
but what will happen though? If the breeze stays the way it is, they'll probably lay up to that mark in 1:35. Everyone's realising now what they've got to do. They've got to get down the other end on starboard and quickly get onto port. And Tech 2 and Noakes Blue are down there, well advanced. Noakes sailing coming up, 20 seconds to go. And almost everyone on port. 10 seconds.
Burrowang about to break the start.
Burrowang's away with... Just, they'll bring them back surely. They're racing. They're racing, but what's going to happen here?
Burrowang's nearly in the tide.
Yeah, the pressure's out of the southeast. Poor old Fisher Paykel couldn't get it. No, there's going to be a blow up here. What is it? They're all away in one leg. No, it's a... Oh, it's individual. Okay, well...
What's that boat doing on the route? Going on with
Fisher Paykel, they were late. They gave them... I don't know what they were doing. But anyway, the race is underway. And they're all on port tack.
And nice and tricky here, Pete. Got to be high left and stay high, you know. The breeze hasn't filled down the course barely.
No, it's very squirrely coming around Steel Point. And Andu got a good start, as did Smeg and Tech 2, as you'd expect.
And Rag and Famish leading the leeward group here.
Rag and Famish punched out nicely, but that's Yandu we're on at the moment.
Yeah. So Rag and Famish about 6 boat lengths in front of them.
Yeah, there's Queenslander and Lazarus Capital here. They were down the leeward end. Now the breeze is all over the place. Light, but Rag and Famish is going to be first boat into this new pressure.
Full pressure, Pete. He's off.
He's got full pressure and he's away. Harry Price, Josh McKnight and Harry Hall, they're into the new pressure. And it's lifting high left. And they're away.
High left doesn't even begin to describe it, Peter, does it?
It'll be a long port tack and a short starboard. You'd think a lot of the fleet are becalmed 100 metres behind them. They've just stopped. Who punches out first? And has been Rag and Famish. Shaw and Partners is away too, as is the Queenslander down to Lewin.
And plenty of wind coming now, look at that.
Yeah, back to a good 12 knots here.
Probably 14, I think.
And Andu's anchored, Tech 2's anchored, Smeg's anchored. Off Nielsen Park, they just haven't got into this southeast and it's squirreling around Steel Point. If you can get your bow out, you're away. And Rag and Famish is out, Yandu's out, the Queenslander's out, and Lazarus is out, as is Shaw and Partners. The rest of the fleet are just bobbling around.
Tech 2 just got rolling up the top there.
Started, poor old Smeg, he's collapsed up there. Oh, even after 3 minutes racing, there's a massive gap in the fleet. Rag and Famish and Shaw and Partners will be the two leaders. Yandu, Queenslander and Lazarus fighting it out for third. The rest are basically becalmed off Steel Point, but the breeze is really solid now coming out of Rose Bay. It's back to the original breeze, and they would be easily laying this on,
I think
one tack.
Yeah.
Will they blow it up?
No, they won't bring it back now, I don't think.
No, don't think so, no.
19-footer race, Peter, it's not...
Not the Olympics?
No.
Well, it'll be a case of find the mark, ease the sails, and away you go. If the mark is back off Point Piper.
Jimmy got the Latin long. It's just to the right of the end of the beach of the Edwards.
Oh, look at this breeze. It's really smoking in now. And now the rest of the fleet are just starting to get it. So at the moment, Rag and Famish leads. That's him there. The Shark Island lighthouse in the background. Harry Price just crack sheets now, hammering away for this mark.
Scorching two-sailor. So from the front then, Rag and Famish, Yandu, Shaw and Partners,
Queenslander
and Lazarus.
Yeah, and they've jumped away. They're 200 metres ahead of the bulk of the fleet, which are headed by Tech 2, Smeg and Andu. So they managed to wriggle themselves out. The rest are way back. There's Yandu, right of screen. Shaw and Partners having a good one. There's second and third respectively. They're up to Shark Island. It's a little bit light in behind the island here, Andrew. A little bit of a lee. But the breeze is back very solidly. And Jimmy's just spotted that weather mark.
Sorry, bad information from me earlier.
It's
on the apartments, Jimmy, is it?
Or just off the back of Ningaloo up the front.
Yeah, we've got a big,
okay.
lovely big super yacht moored in Double Bay. That's a bit of a reference point for us. But there's Shaw and Partners just over the top of Yandu. Steve Thomas and Lindsay Stead and Tom Quigley and the Shaw and Partners, they got their nose out very quickly but there's Yandu, John Winning up there again, no doubt about him. And that's the gap, about 50 metres to Harry Price in the Rag and Famish. And they've got about 500 metres to go to this weather mark, and then they'll do it in one at the moment.
Shippo, just heard from Longy on the start boat. I think you'll find Doug Cameron's on his way up here and going to blow this race up.
Yes, okay. I think they would have had to really. It's just a reach. I think that's Doug Cameron, the race officer, up there in the rubber duck. It's just a reaching race now, and it would be really certain that they will call them back and have another go at it now. This breeze has stabilised into the south or southeast, don't you think, Andrew?
Well, back in history they wouldn't blow it up, but in the modern way I suppose they will blow it up, and it would appear the breeze has done what in the absence of any rain cells, it is back to the gradient south-southeast, so.
Well, at the moment we're still racing though. There's Shaw and Partners at Yandu, second and third, and just behind them Lazarus. And then the rest of the fleet, you can see how spread out they are after only about 6 or 7 minutes of racing. No, we're still underway. That's going to get quite fluky up at this weather mark, though. It's right under Point Piper in a southeast to the western side of Point Piper. There's a few real hollows in this breeze. Here come the cavalry, as we say, all sprung sheets, and
It's a quick leg, isn't it, Pete?
it'll be a quick race if they keep going. And here's the weather mark. It's a very quiet spot now. You can see Rag and Famish. He's going to really suffer here. Look at Yandu's got a good puff. Rag and Famish hasn't got anything. And this is another drifting match here because they're right under the lee of Point Piper. Oh, they've been headed. They're not even laying it now. It's so squirrely up here. Yandu's hit the brick wall.
Yeah, breeze pretty true subtly there, but southeast in the bay, so a bit odd.
Boats flying up behind them, going high, led by Tech 2. You can see him there. He's coming up, but he's going to run out of... He's going to stub his toe in a minute.
He's about to hit the wall now,
Yeah,
but he's good at hitting the wall. He did that pretty nicely.
Yeah. But then Rag and Famish will get round perhaps in first, and he's got to try and get out of this big void in the wind. A big lee under the headland. Andu's screaming in. He's going to stop. There's the Rag as tacked. He will be first, just ahead of Shaw and Partners. He's got to get a little puff to get around here,
Yeah.
Rag and Famish. Shaw and Partners tacks. He's second. Yandu a close third, and then as the Rag sets his shoot, the Yandu goes round. Next will be Marcus Ashley Jones in the Lazarus Capital Partners. And Tech 2's made a bit of a recovery, as is Andu. Oh, look at Tech 2 here. He's got a real good puff right at the mark.
An auto attack, Pete.
And here comes Andu. It's all certainly all happening here. There's puffs, there's voids. Oh, here's a near collision between Lazarus and Smeg.
Wow.
Andu's round.
There you go, Dougie's got the flag up on the rib just there, just beside the Rag. Just behind 18 footers.
Oh, okay, so we'll stop and start again. Flying the flag to say...
think we could fund a slightly longer flagpole for
Anyway, as expected, the race has been called off, and we'll have to do it all again, which I think is probably fair enough. It was becoming a real lottery, certainly up at this weather mark and after the start. But anyway, it was full marks to Harry Price in that effort, though. He put his nose out round Steel Point as quick as he could, got the sou'easter, along with Shaw and Partners and Yandu.
So, Pete,
Now we'll have to reset the whole thing.
they will have to reset the entire course now, I think. The sou'easter looks persistent.
Yes, probably all back to Taylor Bay. And
Yep.
so a little delay again as we expect the fleet to go right back to Taylor Bay and have the conventional or more conventional course up into Rose Bay that we expect in a sou'easter. So probably we didn't learn too much there, Andrew. We just saw that you had to get out quickly and get on port.
Yeah.
And so we can't read much into that.
Tech 2 did show a bit of a turn of speed to get out of the bunch and catch the leaders, I'll say that. But anyway. And they do enjoy a bit of two-star reaching, so...
It's all about the puffs. If you've got one puff, you're away. If you got dropped, as usual, you're a long way back. No, poor old Noakes, they got absolutely dumped at the start. They were at the weather mark, at the pin end, and just no breeze there. They sat there forever. So the fleet now just going back to Taylor Bay, and we'll start again. Have to get the course set down into Rose Bay. The start line set.
Yeah, the start boat's still down where we started off Bottle and Glass there, Pete. So
Yeah, so it'll take a little while yet before we get the fourth heat underway. But we've got plenty of time and to give the sailors a good, fair and true race.
at least people are getting their money's worth for a Monday.
That's right. Exactly right.
Line coming down.
I think you'd say, Andrew, with this sky the way it is, it's probably stabilised now, this breeze, won't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, the only reason it was unstable before was the rain cells, and, you know,
Yeah.
subject to, but the influence of those has departed and the southeast gradients re-exerted itself. Tech 2 doing a bit of playing around here in front of us.
It's the Taylor Bay in the background, Yandu racing down there under Spinnaker, and the fleet all gathered around there, but let's hang around and wait because the committee boat's not there as yet. So they've got to get the start line laid, the gate laid and the weather mark laid. So a bit to do for the boys. Doug Cameron and his team, they've been doing an excellent job throughout. Good starting lines and good decision making.
Committee boat underway, Pete, I think, but it only goes 8 knots, so
Yes.
it's a 5-minute job to get down to the bottom. But the breeze now looks a little bit more like yesterday, doesn't it?
Yeah. Nice second sail breeze. Now, Jimmy, apparently you heard from former Australian champion and former JJ champion Rob Brown overnight. He had a bit of information for us.
Left a nice little message. He's been tuning in. G'day, Brownie. Yeah, he's been helping the Queensland boys out, both on the SeaTech and Queenslander, giving them some pointers and some help, which is really nice of a ex-Australian and JJ champion to lend his time to help out the Queensland boys. So g'day, Brownie, if you're watching.
Well, SeaTech have certainly done a pretty impressive job so far, so he's done a good job there, Brownie. They're the moment on the point score, as I say, early days. They're in 9th position. They've had a 11th and 8th and a 15th. So a nice job. They've started well and showed good upwind speed, but certainly mixing it with the Sydney boys, and they have not been disgraced. And the Queenslander, a young team, will be learning pretty quickly. There's Ilvay, which
John O'Witty.
John O'Witty and Lachlan Doyle and John Walton had a good day yesterday in the second race.
John O 2 days on the same boat.
Yeah.
So when you're saying they put the D1s on back to front or something?
Yeah, we
Okay.
John, I was having a bit of a chuckle about it last night. I think they figured it out, but he said it was like a wolf trap, you know?
Yeah. So for the viewers at home that don't know, the D1s are just the little bottom wires, and if you do put them on the wrong side, it's just obviously where the holes are drilled on the little chain plates can be, you know, half a millimetre out. It makes a massive difference to your tensions on your D1s. So they're actually wires that you pull off the rig and put in your trailer and put back on. They're not like the side stays and your cap stays, which stay on the rig. So
what's the message? Paint one red and one green. Would that be the way to go?
yeah, we used to put red tape
Yeah,
on
yeah.
our port ones. Was how we
right.
used to do it back in the day.
Make sure you're looking forward, not backwards, when you put them on. Yeah.
Oh, we've made that mistake once or twice. So yeah, might have something to do with
The night before,
quiet night before.
down at the Manly Skiffies,
Yeah,
comparing
Bar
notes,
and Grill.
comparing notes with Munno, perhaps.
Munno hasn't been seen down there since restrictions got eased. He's been hiding out in his tower.
Well, I hope you're watching, Johnny. If you are, best wishes to you.
And, yeah, no, what we're talking about down there, cheerio to Dolly, Zanny, Will and Bella Devola. Hope you're on the mend there, Dole. Dolly had a serious operation, 80 odd staples, so yeah, hopefully he's on the mend. He's still, I believe, in hospital, but thinking of you, and Zanny, thinking of you too.
Indeed we are, and we hope you're enjoying the coverage, Dolly. Get well and on the water as quick as you can, old friend. But we're on the water, but we haven't got a race at the moment. We're still milling around in Taylor Bay, waiting for the start line to be laid. Committee boats slowly coming down to position, and there's Yandu in nice pressure. That's Nielsen Park in the background. Yep, no reef today for John Winning.
So someone asked online, Pete, about all the different sail makers and who makes what. So, you know, like the one on Yandu in particular, that's made by Sydney Sailmakers, which is it or isn't it? Okay, who made that one?
Dark Horse.
Dark Horse, okay. Dark Horse Sails, so...
Care of Nick Daly.
Nick Daly, so, and what, Flipper would have had some influence on that?
Yeah, and, you know, assisted ably
Michael
by
Carter.
Michael Carter.
And then, who else have we got? We got Doyle's.
On the Noakes and a couple of other boats.
Yeah, and the majority are North sails.
And, yeah, most of the fleet north. Nick gets his laminates from the Frenchman, so they're pretty high-grade and extremely durable laminates. But, and, you know, as we've noted, the shape convergence is on, isn't it? Look at the leading boats, they all look pretty similar.
Yeah.
And, you know, guys sailing a little bit more depth and twist like Yandu, or flatter and less twisted like Tech 2, but the basic sail shapes aren't too dissimilar. And some Spinnakers in the fleet from Sydney Sailmakers, actually, James.
There you go. So I knew they were involved somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've got a nice breeze settled down now, back in the southeast at about 10 to 12. So we could have a couple of very good races here, as we're just waiting for the start line to get laid. That's looking down towards Sydney Heads. There's a big swell rolling offshore. See the waves breaking at South Reef in the distance there.
Yeah.
Always a good indicator of the swell.
Well, we're into the I think this is the fourth day of, you know, on the south coast of New South Wales, the wind speed's been up around 25 knots pretty much for 4 days, and further afield for that matter. About a 5 metre sea state offshore today.
Wasn't as hairy bringing the boat around today as what it has been past couple of days. It must have gone more south.
Yeah, probably slightly more southerly swell.
The 18-foot bar and restaurant. And today's sponsor is Ilvay, sponsor of the two races. The first race today is in memory of Bill Barnett, 4-time Australian champion.
And I think, Pete, for the viewers, the last time he was the winner might have been around 1960, correct?
Gee, you're testing me, Bucko, but I'll just have to go to the memory bank. Just stand by. No, 1954-55 year series.
Okay. That's why I couldn't remember it, right?
That's right.
But you could, of course.
I was the baler boy.
Yeah, right. So, Gold Thimble? No, it wasn't.
No.
Can't remember the name of the boat, indeed.
Well, Myra was one of his boats. I don't know whether he won the title with Myra.
Yeah.
But he won the 51 JJs in Myra 2.
I've sailed the replica of that boat, Peter, at the Sydney Flying Squadron. An interesting challenge. So that was sort of the introduction of trapezes, yep.
Yep. Of course, he went on to build some beautiful timber boats, Dragons and 5.5s, and of course he built America's Cup Challenger.
Yeah. And he lived to the ripe age of
100 plus.
Yes, exactly.
So not only did he build the America's Cup Challenger, he sailed on it.
Exactly.
It's one way to get a ride in an AC.
Get a gog, give you a cheap boat, as long as I can sail on it. That was Dame Patty in 1967.
But I remember we had a function for him at the Sydney Amateur Sailing Club, Pete, which you might have attended. I can't recall exactly, but I remember him being still exceptionally sharp at the age of 100.
Remarkable, yeah, remarkable.
Astonishing.
There's Noakes Blue, Yvette Heritage, Tom Cloughton, James Turner. Had a good start to yesterday's race, but then they came to grief at one stage.
Yeah, Vet got caught on the
Oh, that's right.
on the wing and then fell into the boat, then fell over the back of the tiller and out the back of the boat.
That's
So,
right.
One of the most impressive
Thrills and spills of the day.
falling out of a boat I've ever seen. So sorry, Yvette, to rehash that when you watch this back later.
But she does a great job, really. I mean,
Does a brilliant job.
she's always there or thereabouts, and
But
often in the top half a dozen at the top mark.
Jimmy, it hadn't affected her sense of humour. She was laughing about it last night in
Yeah,
the bar.
no, she's delightful.
She has an amazing sense of humour. She's quite a good character.
Okay,
The breeze, Andrew, what do we got? We're back to a good sou'easter here, or
10 to 14. There you go.
it's high. Look at Noakes there. He's
Yeah.
high on the left, so it's probably a good sou'easter.
Yep.
12,
So-
14 knots.
Pete, if the whole thing's re-exerting, some of them did have it building and going back to the right as the day went on, so be interesting. Still going to be, it's probably, this race will be low to mid-range. I give it another hour, you just hard to pick here. Little cells and little pulses and just it's a bit strange how it actually propagates and re-exerts itself.
Yes, but as we always said here in Taylor Bay on the eastern side of Bradley's Head, there's always puffy conditions because the breeze lifts up over the headland or the hills here. But once you move further down upwind, it becomes a little bit more steadier. And we're seeing a few good puffs rolling down here at the moment. Good 14 knots.
Pretty far left though.
Boys
It
on
is
the screen
high
that would sooner forget yesterday. The Birkenhead Point Marina boys, Timmy Westwood, Alex Shitton and Will Dargaville.
The committee giving us we're on station call.
Yeah, the AP's up.
Not for much longer, I'd suggest, Peter.
Well, I think he's got to get the start line down. He's down at that leeward end, Doug Cameron, the principal race officer, putting that down. And then I assume he's laid the weather mark. Well, we hope he has, up in Rose Bay. So do we go left or right, boys? The old question.
We're not going to answer that for a minute, Peter.
Okay, all right, okay. Stand by.
We reserve our rights until about 3 minutes to go, all right?
Okay, all right.
To the top mark. Bucko, what do you reckon?
No, 3 minutes. Shipway's the only one allowed to call it after we get to the top. You and I, still young and adventurous.
We've got to have a go.
We've got to have a
So
go.
I'm not young and adventurous. Gee, come on.
I didn't. You know who said it.
I'm middle-aged and adventurous. Is that what you're trying to say, Bucko?
I was trying to be very, very polite, Peter. All right.
As you always are.
Yeah.
Okay, there's Marcus, Ashley Jones.
They haven't mucked around, but he hasn't put the pin back in yet. So,
No.
And technically, he needs to put the pin in.
This breeze is getting fresher too, by the way.
Yeah, just trickling back up to the gradient strength, mate. It's amazing how it works.
Oh, gone from no breeze to good solid 14, 15 knots.
Yep.
But that's the way it is.
And perhaps even a little more looking up. But,
Yes, yeah.
Good stuff. And I hope that cloud up there doesn't rain again, Peter, looking upwind.
It looks a bit more coming out over Double Bay, but it's a fair way off. But
No, it's not raining at the moment.
there's the rag.
It might be raining down to about 1,000 metres. There you go. Yeah, it's evaporating.
They've had a good consistent couple of days, 4th, 6th and 4th. And of course they were leading when this race was abandoned a short time ago. And the breeze is really coming across the racecourse now. Good
Looks nice,
strength.
it looks
yeah,
nice, doesn't it?
good sailing breeze. Nice clear runway up to the weather mark.
So unfortunately not on camera, folks. Jimmy's just showing me the rain radar on his mobile device. There is rain offshore, definitely.
Put it up to the camera, Jimmy.
You're not going to see it, but there.
Yeah, you will.
And people will start pestering me.
Yeah.
And they still haven't laid the start line yet. I think he's
not far off. He's
No.
just towed the pin into position now, and I don't think he's laid the windward mark. Doesn't have to lay the windward mark, though. He can start the race without the windward mark in, provided they give a
As long as he doesn't break down getting up there.
distance and bearing.
Yeah. Postponement flag still on the start boat.
Yep, so he's put the pin in.
He's got
Poor
to-
Dougie's definitely earning his beers today.
Yeah, for sure. You've got to get the pin in, you've got to get the gate in, he's got to get the weather mark in. So it's a 2 lapper, 2 windwards, 2 leewards, and hopefully 2 races today. There's plenty of wind now, so these races are relatively quick. Okay, the AP down.
So that's pretty efficient work from the committee.
It is. They've done a great job.
Great job.
And they do it each week.
I think we'll buy them a faster anchor winch. That's the only thing that wasn't quite... You got budget, haven't you, Jimmy?
No.
Ah, not our job.
I haven't even given our anchor winch a go, but on the camera boat.
Okay, we're coming
Assume
up
it
to
works.
5 minutes. And the breeze 12 knots, I guess. Maybe a bit more in the puffs.
Nice, though.
Oh, good sailing breeze. Absolutely.
So just coming towards...
There's Andu, just crossing in front of us in the committee boat. Just standing by for the 5 minutes. Thuda. Must be getting close. Okay, there's the Balmain Slake.
So nobody with a reef in today, as
No.
one would expect. So, and for some of the younger and less experienced crews, you know, the sailing every day does them a lot of good. You know, they get to observe, they get to think about it overnight, and whatever mistakes they made yesterday, they usually don't make twice. So you can see some quite rapid progress sometimes in you know, skilled young sailors who've come from the 29ers and similar boats. Quite quick progression to being competitive.
Okay, so we've got 4 minutes coming up, Andrew. You've got to make a decision for me. Left or right of Shark Island?
I think left. Breeze is too far left.
Jimmy? That's
Yeah,
4 minutes.
I think I'm going with Bucko on the left. Looks like there's a bit more pressure over there as well. Although the ebb tide sort of tells you want to go to the right. But
Yeah, the only thing that's scaring us is what looks now like rain up in the back of the city.
It does. Well, I'm going to wait for a while, okay?
Yeah, right.
I'm going to wait for about 15 minutes and I'll tell you. So 3 minutes 30.
there's Trent Barnabas just in the front with his dad Trev and Baz.
Baz Atkins hidden.
Trent just indicated that he needed earplugs, so I don't know what that's for.
Show us your face, Baz. There's Baz.
There he is.
Oh dear, he's been doing a lot of work with the Smeg boys and he's really lifted their game. Where they're right on the pace at the moment and had a few wobbles yesterday in the second race, but once they can get that out of the system, their speed is very, very good. And 3 minutes to go. And the fleet, where are we looking, Andrew, for a start, do you think?
The line's pretty good. Probably going to marginally favour the leeward end.
Good breeze now. Look at this,
Yeah, no,
looking upwind.
beautiful.
White caps are plenty.
Little white caps from powerboat wash and stuff, really, but indicatively then 14 knots, I would say, yeah?
2 minutes
In the puff.
30 to go. There's a ferry coming up from Manly, but I think he'll be across the fleet. Hopefully, 2 minutes 20.
No, Pete, he won't. He's
Oh,
just
it's gonna be-
he's just in the wrong
Top
place.
mark's just to the left of the catamaran, just up on the beach there.
Well done.
So you boys are going left, are you? Upwind?
The mark's left as well, Pete.
Okay.
That's what's making me think also go left. It's normally
All
hidden
right,
behind the island.
Okay.
We
yeah.
want to see if it actually rains in the city, Pete, in all honesty. But
2 minutes. 2 minutes, boys and girls. If you're watching, wherever you are around the world, good afternoon from Sydney Harbour. Breeze is in. The race 4 just about to get underway.
fabulous.
Named after Bill Barnett And today's sponsor, Ilve. And the series leader is Andu with Sevi Jarvan from Tech 2 and Rag and Famish. 3 heats completed. 4 to go, and 2 will be raced today with a minute 30 to go.
So, Pete, the 3 leading boats racked up, or the 4 leading boats racked up going for the pin.
So what does that tell you?
Well, I don't know.
They're all going for the pin.
They're all going for the pin.
That's right.
I think I'll go down there too with them. Okay, minute 15 to go.
A bit of hurting, and the ferry's changed course, Pete, so he's not going to
No,
impinge
there'll be no problems there.
at all.
Good breeze, 14 knots, I guess, at the starting line.
Yeah, so good mid-range for this rig.
Okay, a minute. There's the minute signal.
And they're all giving it a fair bit of respect, aren't they? They're a fair way back.
I think after 2 practice starts,
Oh, yeah, they're getting a bit bored.
they're probably,
This is the
mind's starting to switch off on the poor blokes a little bit.
third go today. We had the last time the race was abandoned when the breeze had a massive swinge to the left. So we're underway. We're in Taylor Bay. A 2-lapper, 4-lapper, 2 windwards, 2 leewards. 25 seconds to go. Starting
A
to
big pack in the middle of the line.
Yeah,
Wow.
Lazarus advanced. 18 seconds to go.
Lazarus is going to be over if they're not extremely
Yeah,
careful.
the Royal Oaks there. The rest.
Johnny Walton just falling through the gap between the,
That's
the wing and
Yandu
the...
poking his nose out. Is Ilve right at the committee boat? 5, 4, 3, 2, go.
General recall.
General. Okay, we'll do it all again.
Haven't had enough practice starting.
So we just have a quick look at them, Andrew. What do you think? Even though it is a general,
Well, the breeze has gone a little right just in the
Yeah, I
last
think-
minute or two here.
the committee boat looks okay, I
Committee
think.
boat looks okay, exactly.
Mm.
Wow. So the leading culprit was Royal Oak on that one. They just sheeted on with just 5 or 6 seconds too early and dragged everybody with them.
Yeah. Once one goes, they get the...
Yeah,
Everyone gets the nerves and let's go with
So
it.
let's set another flag, Jimmy. What do you think?
I think I see a
black-
different coloured
a
flag
black
going
flag.
up. A black one.
Oops.
And the committee almost has to.
Yeah, they've got to get this race
They'll be running
underway.
out of beer.
They're running out of beer and daylight at this rate.
Well, they've got to, I think that's a smart move. Meaning what, Andrew? For those
Meaning-
that are not familiar with it?
Meaning that if you infringe on the triangle formed by the windward mark and the 2 ends of the line in the last minute, you are disqualified without a hearing.
And
What's the second part?
well, if there's a general recall, you can't start in that race.
No, you're DQ'd, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
Craig Nichols is tuning in. So,
So,
asked if we're having fun yet.
so if you do get black flagged, as they say, you've got to hang around and wait for the second race. There's no redress, you're out.
Or you can protest the committee, but good luck with that, usually.
No,
Yeah.
I've never seen that win, unless you get massive
I've
video
I've
evidence.
seen that win in the 16s back
Right.
in 2005.
It'd be a rarity, but I suppose it can happen if you have good video evidence or good evidence.
A lot of disbelief in it from a lot of people in the rest of the rigging park that they were able to be reinstated for the reasons why.
Yeah.
Okay. We're getting ready again to have another go at it. This will be the 4th time that we want to get this 4th heat underway.
Have to bring 2 rolls out next time, Pete, if they're going to keep
Yes.
this up.
Yeah, or dinner.
And dinner.
Yeah, light dinner.
We've been saving up for a pie warmer on board the camera boat. Yeah, if anyone's watching wants to tip us in, buy us a pie warmer, we'll happily accept it.
Yeah.
We're nearly out here in the darkness one time with Kilo, Pete. That's a day where I ran 3 races and there was endless recalls. And,
Oh.
Jesus. Dark by the time we got back to the dock.
Okay, well.
And dry.
Just waiting for
Dark,
the 5
dry,
minutes
out
to
of
go.
battery, everything.
There's Noakes sailing and
So, Pete, this is enough agony for these boys that this is becoming an endurance test, isn't it?
yeah,
You know, we're coming up to a little over an hour of
Hanging around, yeah.
milling and mucking, shall we say.
It looks like a podium start, staying in.
Yeah, and it's looking a bit boat endy right now.
Do we get to change our mind, Bucko?
Breeze, yeah, we're allowed up to 3 minutes. We get another shot at the title.
Well, certainly that last start,
Yeah.
after it was a boat end start,
Probably just enough coming out of the cloud, Pete, over there, I think. It's just cold enough and a little bit of rain somewhere to the west of us. Have a look at that there.
okay, that's the noise for 5 minutes.
The poor flag officer he'll be
Yeah,
getting
he'll be
recruited
tight.
as a marsman on a yacht
Yes,
shortly
yeah.
with all the practices getting pulling the flags up.
Breeze down a bit again here, lift it off a little.
Yeah.
Noakes is going to be early.
Noakes, I don't think he can hang there for 4.5 minutes. He's not that good. He's good, but not that good.
You don't want to be anywhere near the line, do you?
No,
Well, that's always interesting, Jimmy.
here's the
Isn't it?
Queenslander in the foreground.
If you're one of the back markers, you could take the odds to it to some degree, you know. I can maybe get 2 boat lengths.
Jump.
Yeah.
So a bit early to see whether they're going to stack up, but 4 minutes to go.
Fairway right here, Pete.
Yes, I think it's
So we have to be on starboard tack in this first line of breeze by the look of it.
breeze just down a couple of knots. You've got 12, 13 knots perhaps here.
Hey, Chids, can we get the Balmain Slake up here, Nielsen?
That's him in the background.
It's him way upwind, the Balmain Slake. I think, does he think he started, or do you think?
Taking it on.
He thinks he's in a good lead.
It's a pursuit race, obviously. He's sailing upwind still.
Still going upwind. 3 minutes 30.
Might be going home.
He may be going home,
He
perhaps.
might have broken something indeed.
Yeah, he's 3 minutes 20. He wouldn't get back here, even if he set a shoot. But anyway, there's the committee vessel. Three minutes coming up. Yes, I think the Balmain Slake's day is over, unfortunately for them.
They haven't been having a very good trot, but it is a fairly old boat and learning
Last year's Yandu.
learning boat work is part of the trade, isn't it, Jim?
Oh.
Footers are on the this.
18 footers are just capsized on the other side of the start boat from where we are.
Oh, okay, that's not a good place to be.
And he's infringing the black flag rule.
Not,
Over the line.
that'd be a sad way to go out, wouldn't it, Bucko?
Oh, it'd be awful. But he'll drift. He'll get
He'll
back.
They'll
drift
get
back.
back 2.5 to go. They'll be held back this time by that infamous black flag. Because if you're over, there's no recourse. 2:15. So they're all well getting back now.
Good stuff.
Just coming up to 2 minutes. They look as though the bunch will be at the committee boat end. 2 minutes.
Yeah. And Tech 2 racking up as if they're going to start on the leeward side of the fleet to some extent. They're very keen to establish their speed credentials or re-establish them. They weren't too quick off the line yesterday.
Nice breeze.
Nice breeze, yeah.
12-14.
So, Pete, that's just gone back to nearly neutral,
yes,
I
yeah.
think, looking upwind. Yeah.
So we're picking up the boat and running it over the island at this point.
Oh, yeah, equivocations.
1.5 to go. The 18-footer bar and restaurant's out of the tide.
Just in time.
Just in time. So, 1 minute 20 to go for the fourth heat. First race today. We've been out here for a good hour trying to get it underway, but we're having a fourth go at it.
And doing the Rag and Famish, having a little do-so-do down the end there.
1 minute.
Tech 2 and Ando and Rag and Famish side by side.
Yeah, they're down at that towards the pin, Andu. Tech 2's down there as well.
Yep. And the Queensland are trying to test their speed
Yeah.
by the look of it, Pete. Good on them.
Giving them a
40
bit.
seconds.
35. Okay, they're well behaved this time.
Funny
30
that.
seconds. Smeg advanced of the group, but they're just holding back, holding back. 20 seconds. Oh, who's going to push the trigger first?
Noakes Blue looking a little adventurous.
Yes, they are.
At the top end of the line here.
10 seconds. Oh, Finport's going for it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All clear.
All good.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Lazarus at the
Finally.
committee boat. Marcus Ashley Jones
Both Lazarus
thundering
boats,
in
the committee boat.
and got a beauty. The
More
Lazarus,
breeze going back to the right here, Pete. Hard right.
hard right. Well, it is. Well, that'll favour the boats at the committee boat. Ilve's bailed out first to come back onto port.
So just the puff that came with the gun. Big right with pressure.
They haven't quite got it yet, the majority of the fleet.
Yeah, no, not at all. Lazarus doesn't have it and they
No.
started the boat. So you have to get onto port.
Ilve will be first into it. There's Shaw and Partners going right, the Royal Oak. And they're really headed the boats on starboard.
Yeah.
Lazarus leads the group there. He got a great start, Marcus, at the committee boat.
But they're not in the wind.
No, they're not in the wind. The boats that have gone right are just starting to get into it. And they've got 3 or 4 knots better pressure.
Just go the other way, Dylan. Over to starboard. The port side.
They're the boats that have bailed out quickly. And you'll come round now, and there's the boats that have gone left.
So-
Noakes has tacked quickly. There's Lazarus, not the greatest tack.
Yeah. And Ando and Tech 2 are having their own little private battle and just ignoring the rest of the fleet.
Yeah, but this is interesting. What the breeze is going to do. There's a massive split already.
Yeah.
The boats coming back from the left-hand side on port are much higher than the boats that went right early. There's the group that are going left. There's Tech 2, Andu, the Rag, and just tacking as the 80-footer bar and restaurant.
Yeah.
Back on the other side.
So there's looking for the left-hander as the boat's going out on port, are headed, and they could come back, as you said, Andrew, on that good right-hander. There'll be a
Tech 2 testing their speed with Ando here and they didn't tack well.
Watch the TV screen.
Yep, there's 18-footer bar and restaurant. Out the front of him is Smeg.
And on screen now, C-Tech in the middle of the fleet, so the furthest left of the right-handed part of the fleet. Interesting. Smeg leading that part of the fleet, so just on the left of shot, they're the leader of that right-hand pack.
There's appliances online coming across to Smeg.
Perhaps along with Finport, Jimmy, in a squall now, mainsail inverted. Amazing.
Yep. There's Finport just above the
And
pack.
and high left, Pete.
Yeah, gee.
So that's the view from Tech 2.
That's Tech 2 we're looking
tricky.
at. And Andu
Copy.
back to the right-hand group. Well, when they converge, we'll see what happens. Boats that have gone way to the left have done okay. I think there's Noakes Blue and Lazarus.
Yeah, I think you'll now see a drag race to the starboard tack ley line, Pete. Andu and Tech 2, just hammer down, yeah? Anyway, the starboard, the right-hand fleet is coming back now, so Kitchen Maker, Smeg, Finport up there. We're travelling with Noakes Blue with Lazarus, though.
There's Andu in the background, just ducking
Yeah.
the appliances online, and
Yeah.
Tech 2
So that
doing
will,
the same.
that will tell us that Tech 2 and Andu are dead even. And the breeze very spotty on the left edge, Pete.
Yeah, it's died a lot, hasn't it, here? Down to about 12 knots. A few little puffs. Yandu going across on port. It's done okay. Wow, it's a good spread in the fleet. You can see that from that overhead shot. Fleet are well spread. There's Andu sitting right on the gas of Tech 2. That's the Rag, just tacked underneath them. Yandu going behind them.
And Appliances Online just left the screen having the
And that's,
race of their life at the moment.
that's the Queenslander.
There's them and the kitchen maker, actually, Jimmy.
Yep.
Well, there's a good gaggle of boats. The Rag, Lazarus, Andu, Tech 2, above them the Kitchen Maker, and then further out Finport.
So Finport leads, yeah?
Yeah, Keegan.
And Tech 2 just had to bail out there.
Yeah, they couldn't live there.
And you can see top of screen, some boats are gone. We'll go to the right of the island, I would think.
Well, interesting times.
This breeze is quite puffy again here.
Very
Oh,
unstable.
there's the 18-footers, not the greatest tack in the world. It's just
Every time we got them on TV,
Yeah,
they
they-
do something like that, don't
I think they get stage
Calm
fright.
down.
All right, Andu nearly in the tide. Sorry, viewers. Up the track a bit.
There's
Okay.
Andu, it's,
Yeah,
it's
right,
left.
just here.
A big spin came out of the
Oh,
tack.
right on the screen.
There's a good battle here between the Kitchen Maker, Lazarus, and Rag and Famish. Pretty even, nothing between these two. The Rag going to bail out. He'll go behind Lazarus.
So, and not on screen, viewers, but collection of boats going the other side of the island. Big line of pressure coming to us here.
Yeah, great line of pressure for Lazarus to tack in.
We're travelling with Lazarus, and
He's going to go right into the shore here at Steel Point.
got a beauty.
Got some. You can see the pressure coming round the point to him.
Tide relief. Rig tension just went up 5 notches, and standing by.
Okay, there he goes to go out in the middle, but I think and we'll see them shortly. I think Smeg's probably the leader of this group that have gone left.
Smeg or Finport, Pete?
Yes, figure. There's Finport just tacked. Okay, that's Finport with Noakes sailing and coming across, and Smeg above, just in front of Noakes. So it'll be close. There's Smeg, Michael Cox and Ricky Bridge and
Smeg's just tacked.
Zach Barnabas. Smeg's tacked, so he didn't like what he was seeing coming towards Finport.
No, high left now
Yeah, it's
in this
high left.
corner of the bay. Finport leads,
He does lead.
and Noakes probably is actually in second, I would say, Pete.
Good shot of Finport.
Finport must be getting, sorry, Noakes must be getting close to the ley line, but
He's gone. There he goes. There's
Yep.
Sean Langman. Ed Powy's back on the sheet today. That's the weather mark you can just see going off screen right up on the left there.
Finport lifting where they are, so,
And in the
Got
distance,
good boat
that's
speed, doesn't he?
yeah.
yeah.
Well, he was fiddling with it after the race yesterday and complaining, but
The other thing too, Gussie Williams, the human propeller,
oh no, okay.
Mark II, because the original one was Stretch.
Yeah, right.
Finport smoking up the middle.
So just coming into view adjacent to the island, the group of boats that have gone the other side. Rain
Led
and
by the
Famish.
Royal Oak.
Sorry, Royal Oak?
Royal Oak.
sorry.
Royal Oak, Shore and Partners, Silvay.
Insurance partners.
They've
Indeed.
done okay, actually.
They have. I told you that, Pete.
No, I went right. I went right. That's the Royal Oak just going behind Smeg. So they're the 4 boats that went to the right of Shark Island, or the western side of Shark Island. Royal Oak, Shore and Partners, Ilvay. They'll be right in the mix.
You have to call that dead even, wouldn't you?
It probably
Yeah,
would, wouldn't it?
It's pretty close.
Yeah. The Royal Oak's got starboard tack rights here, and he's probably on the ley line too, even if a little above it. So
Wow.
Finport could tack short at Royal Oak and probably will lead. There he goes.
Wow.
There's Finport
It's
tagging.
pretty even though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? So Finport will lead them round. Smeg's tacked tight, but he's lifting nicely. Smeg.
Oh, Smeg will have a hard time there, Pete.
Yes. He's,
Not going to lay.
okay, Finport will lead them.
He might lay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and Smeg is just lifting beautifully. Great judgment from Michael Coxon as Royal Oak roars around the mark in second place. Smeg third. Shore and Partners fourth. Then Ilvay with Jono Whitting driving just ahead of Noakes.
And I tell you who's had a pretty big fall from grace, Pete, is Tech 2.
Yes, they're well back. There's Noakes around. Next will be Andu. A nice little puff. You can see it rolling down to the fleet here. Got about 12 knots, perhaps a little bit more at times. So Finport leads.
Noakes sailing, first one to bail out. The white spinnaker
Yeah,
there.
he's jibed.
So tricky game of find the wind down the run, and be very careful about getting near the land on the Nielsen Park side.
Rag and Famish.
Oh,
And then Tech 2 trying to avoid them.
as the Tech 2's well back, as you said, Andrew. I don't know what happened there. He was probably...
Well, he got forced to go the wrong way, and ended up in not much wind in the underside of Shark Island, Pete.
Okay, well, that's him tacking now. He's got a big job ahead of him now.
Okay, come on back now.
He's around. Appliances on line. Next, then Noakes Blue.
But pressure probably building overall, Pete, now, I
There's
think.
Noakes Blue. Oh, hang on, Yvette. There you go. Yeah, well, the first of two downwind legs. Did we see the second Queenslander, C-Tech? We haven't seen them today.
Yeah.
They were there, were they?
Down there.
Down
Oh,
just
okay,
off
he's down
Steel
there,
Point,
yeah.
mate.
Okay, I missed him. He's there, good. Birkenhead in the foreground. Appliances online, and there's the 18-footer skiff restaurant. The charge is on, downwind. A lot of splits on this run, VMG run.
Straight across.
Red Spinnaker of Shore and Partners, Rag and Famish, Andu and Lazarus. There's Yandu going across on Port Jibe, and in the distance, Smeg will be very close to the lead with Finport. That's Ilvay. So we're racing back to the starting area of Taylor Bay. There's a gate there. They can pick the left or right hand mark. So just getting down to halfway through this fourth heat. Tech 2, big job to do to get back into this now.
But Tech 2 coming at him with a screamer. If he drives back on the face, he'll be in pretty good shape, I'd say.
Yeah.
Andu briefly stopped, I don't know if you saw it there, Pete, but just behind, or to leeward and behind Rag and Famish.
Okay, there's the Rag. There's the three leaders with the white spinnakers. And there's Shore and Partners. Just got to get your ley lines right here. Shore and Partners going well out on starboard jibe. Can't go too much further, you wouldn't think. No, there he goes. And they're the three leaders behind Yandu. From left, Smeg, Ilvay, and then behind Yandu is the
Finport
Finport.
and Royal Oak.
And Finport led at the weather mark, and I think he'll hold that lead.
No, he's extended.
Yeah, he's
Just going in here, I think for a weather drop.
so here where the fun and games start. It's Finport on Port Jibe. Now he's just jibing. So Finport has dropped. There's Smeg dropping. So Finport's going to go round the left-hand mark, so he's got to jibe, which he's just done. Smeg will have to jibe. He's right on him. Boat length in it.
Nice and complicated, wasn't it?
Yeah. Ilvay, as you'd expect, spectacular stuff from the Ilvay. There he goes. They're all going to this left-hand mark. Finport's still got the spinnaker half up or half down. Very untidy by those boys. Unfortunately,
We had a knot in the halyard, it's called.
Yeah. So Smeg leads now. Ilve is going to win with the Spinnaker up. Just getting down now. So it's Smeg, Royal Oak, Finport, and then Ilve.
Pete, call this. There's about to be some...
There's a bit more. Oh, there are boats everywhere. Stick with us at the leeward mark. Noakes is round. Spinnaker, not great. Yandu, everyone's late here. Oh, look at the Burrawang. What's going to happen here with the blue Spinnaker? Oh,
It's called a Jai Peel drop stem Christie turn.
oh,
Make friends.
stick with it. Simon Nern. Lazarus sneaks around inside. No, they pretty good job in the end.
Wasn't as bad as I thought that was
No.
going to be.
Two's around. Coming in.
Well,
Tech two in the background going to the right-hand mark.
two sailing to the right-hand mark. That's
Yeah, a
pretty
few have
amazing.
gone round there. The Rag's gone round there. There's the Kitchen Maker.
In a good puff too.
Yeah, fleet reasonably
Yeah.
close together. And here comes the Vet Heritage and the Noakes Blue. She'll be next to go round. But we've got a good battle. And again, a split. The leading group have gone right. And the group about 4th, 5th and 6th have gone left, headed by Andu.
Yeah. So, Pete, I don't think there's any real compelling thing about the right on this beat. Slightly different circumstances to the first beat, where there was still appeared to be some rain squall influence.
It was quite even that first beat, wasn't it?
Yep.
You'll soon see Andu extending hard out to the left, going in towards Steel Point.
But that said, you know, the standard thing would be to go this side, I think, in the ebb tide. Yeah, the flow now quite strong.
Yeah, getting good bounce around Bradley's head.
Yeah.
And the head of Smeg just, like over on this right-hand side, the head of Smeg just ran into,
Yeah.
it's about 15 degrees.
Yeah. So
The other side.
the little funnels.
There's what's happening over the other side. Tech
Yeah.
2 decided to come this way.
Yeah, and behind him is Andu. He's just behind Tech 2. There he is. The Watson's Bay Hotel in the background. He's still extending on starboard, Andu.
Not wow.
Behind him is the Rag and Famish and Sea-Tech. Yeah, it's Shore and Partners, Sea-Tech, the Rag and then Lazarus. They've gone round the right-hand gate, looking downwind, and round to that and gone out on starboard. Meanwhile, the leading group have gone hard to the right. Tech 2 going up the middle.
Yeah, and Tech 2's going to probably come out of this all right. Breeze turning left a little here for a bit.
There's Yandu. He
only
Went-
just
went
went back
back
on a real short one. He didn't
Yeah,
like
he
what
didn't
he
like
saw.
didn't like what he saw. And there's Noakes sailing, coming out towards Yandu. They're right in the middle of the pack, those three. Noakes just go across behind Yandu, converging with Tech 2. Okay, well, here's the group that went right. Smeg and the Royal Oak, and Finport and Ilve. Ilve still on port tack. He's going to go further right than most.
And a good line of puff coming out of Rose Bay. Less
Yeah.
wind under Point Piper with those three boats that
Yeah,
Peter
I mean,
mentioned
they're
are.
not three strings by any means, that leading group.
But that's
just-
always a problem.
Smeg struggling for pressure.
This might be a pretty big beat here, Pete, this one.
Well, it's very light where Ilve's going. Look at him. He's extending right in towards Point Piper. But there's Smeg and the Royal Oak's coming round his bow slightly, but
Yeah.
they've just got the wind now on Smeg. You can see the three strings.
So they're okay. Aiming toward the white light on starboard. A bit unconventional, but... And just depends how much wind the guys over at Nielsen Park get, Pete. They're a long way away, you know.
Yeah, they're way in the distance, right in on Steel Point.
The breeze has turned left on average, though, hasn't it?
But Ilve have just tacked.
John O'Witty firing it up.
Yeah.
He's about to get a good lifting right-hander.
Oh, see Yandu tacked short of him.
Yeah.
Today's sponsor as well.
Ilve, they are, yeah. And in the
Pulls
distance,
this one out.
it's the Royal Oak
sponsor
that's
every
done
race.
well down there. He's come round the bow of Smeg. And then laying into Shark Island.
Yeah, Smeg had a bit of a pause there in no pressure.
Check 2.
Tech 2 starting to wriggle their way through, was often the case with those guys.
They needed to do some wriggling. And they're standing into a good puff coming from the right. So a little bit of neutral territory wind here, Pete, with pressure. They should tack pretty soon. How about that?
Yeah. Well judged, Andrew.
I haven't lost it completely, despite what people say, right?
Well, it's still up
It was a popular vote, though, Bucko.
still up for debate. Now, Bucko, I think I would have gone left this time.
Do you?
Yeah.
Andy does look good up there, don't they?
Oh, where is he? Oh, there he is. Yes, he does look good.
It's a big roll of the dice, though, isn't
There
it?
he is, and it is a big roll.
I
But
think-
he was well back. He was buried.
I think Finport still leads, or this group here still
I
leads.
think Royal Oak of this group.
Or Royal Oak, yeah, indeed. So,
And not much pressure here between Shark Island and Point Piper. As
well, he's got the windward mark in his sights. Let's see what happens. I don't think there's too much wind anywhere right now. Actually.
no, the boats that went to the right of the island the first time they laid in once they got round Shark Island on starboard tack.
So the Oak is going to go a little further.
Oh, right on his gas. Thanks
Yep.
very much. But
Yep.
anyway, it's the game they play.
There is Tech 2 searching for one more bit of right-hand puff.
Don't want to go too far and get too much right. He'll overlay.
That wouldn't bother him
Well,
to some degree, Pete. You know that.
yeah, there's the Royal Oak.
He's going to go to the low line.
They've done a great job. Aaron Everett, John Cooley and Charlie Gundy.
Yep.
They lead this group quite clearly. And they're the guys that went the other way. Gee, they look relatively strong. There's led by Andu. It's a bit of a case of find the win and join the dots. It's quite fluky up here.
Yeah, I mean, it depends a bit on the shape of the puff.
Yes.
That these guys are just going to get now. Smeg and
Royal Oak's got a nice right-hander. Smeg's not quite into it yet.
He is
just
now.
coming into it now.
Yeah.
It's a really good right-hander for Smeg. Oh, but he'd be looking at Andu and saying, oh, I don't like what I see here.
no,
I
Breeze-
don't like this at all.
Breeze too far left, but here goes Smeg on the correct side of the puff to some degree now.
Royal Oak has got it.
Yeah.
It'll be between Royal Oak and Andu, I think, as Shaw and Partners takes the stern of Royal Oak. So the left paid that time, no doubt about it.
Yep, by about, what do you reckon, 100 metres by the look of that.
Andu could easily lead.
He does.
It's a good performance. Royal Oak will be right with him.
No, Royal Oak leads.
Yeah, Royal Oak, yeah. They're short of the lay line. So it's still close. It's going to be a really good finish here. We go round this weather mark and then they run to the finish. Oh, it's Andu's taking a few sterns. Anyway, oh, he's going to...
I think he'd be happy to, like where he was, to take a third. Be
So they'll
fine for him.
All on the lay line. Royal Oak leads. Shaw and Partners, Andu, Smeg and Finport. There's the Royal Oak. Having their best race of the series, probably the best race of the year. Nice little puff to get round in, not much, probably about 10, 11 knots.
Yeah.
So, can they hold their nerve? Shaw and Partners second. Good set on the Royal Oak, or is it? No, that Windward Sheep was caught. Okay, Andu third, close enough. Smeg fourth, close enough.
So Royal Oak hurt themselves a bit there with the Windward Sheep not
Yes.
free.
Andu, good set. Shaw and Partners, good set. Smeg,
Funny little puff there too for those
yeah.
guys.
There's the Rag in fifth spot. Oh, Finport tight on the mark. And SeaTac, here come the top Queenslanders. Another good performance. Got to get that Spinnaker up, boys, as Yandu comes in next. Finport jibing away. Yandu's going to jibe inside them. Lazarus
And a big bit of wind
and
coming.
Noakes.
Big bit of header coming for the guys on port. Maybe.
Oh,
Let's see.
not much wind where they jibed into. They've all jibed into nothing there. Yandu, Finport and Lazarus. But Noakes is going to run away on starboard. But anyway, we're after the leaders, and it's the Royal Oak that are leading the fleet in this fourth heat of the Australian titles. Can they hold their nerve? And get over the line first. At the moment, they're doing a fine job. All being lifted. Smeg's in a good one, rolling down on Andu. And behind them, Shaw and Partners. Meanwhile, the Royal Oak has jibed. Shaw and Partners jibing. Andu trying to lock Smeg out here.
They're doing a pretty good job too.
Smeg will try to jibe. I think they want to jibe. Yes, they do.
Nice jibe on the Smeg.
Nice jibe.
God damn.
But you can see the Royal Oak. He's got a really good pressure. Got the bow down, as is Shaw and Partners with the red spinnaker. Well,
Yeah, they won't catch the Royal Oak or the Shaw and Partners, I don't think.
well,
Particularly when they keep fighting each other.
yes, it's a battle for third between Andu and Smeg, but we're on the Rag, who's in fifth or sixth. And here's the four leaders. Are we going to have a new winner? We've seen Smeg win one race, Andu two. Royal Oak going up for pressure. Smeg and Andu got the bow down. Shaw and Partners and Royal Oak having to put the bow up. Shaw and Partners has bailed out his jibe. Now,
As wobbly as they come too.
good job on the Royal Oak. Here they go. That's the distance they're in front.
And a big long finish line, Pete, so we've got plenty to aim at. But he'll just be content to cover from in front, I think. And
Yeah, but this not that easy when you've got Sevi Jarvan up your exhaust pipe. And also Michael Coxon. A couple of boys that know how to sail pretty well these 80s, but Aaron Everett, a fantastic job. Really good first-class job by these boys. Looking pretty strong at the moment. They've got about 200 metres to go. As you say, a long finishing line. Question will be who will get second, I think.
yeah. Andu is in a good line of breeze. They've gained ground on Shaw and Partners.
And there's the Royal Oak. You'll see Shaw and Partners shortly. They've jibed back onto port. You'll see their red spinnaker shortly, but on the Royal Oak.
But Shaw and Partners look like they've got good angle, as in a good header on port. So they will cross Andu. So they're going to finish as they round at the top, Pete, I think. Pretty
Looks
close.
like it, yes. Now,
Subject to. How far to go, mate? Can we get there?
Royal Oak should jibe. They do. Just to cover off here.
Nice job.
Yeah, great job from the Royal Oak. Here they come, very close now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Terrific performance by Aaron Everett and John Cooley as they Shaw and Partners get through in second. And fine effort by those two boats, really. Best performance, certainly for this series. As Andu, as ever, consistent in third spot. Smeg also solid in fourth. So the Royal Oak, John Cooley, Charlie Gundy and Aaron Everett, really, really top-class effort. In quite tricky conditions as the Rag, consistent as ever in fifth spot.
C-Tech's going to get sixth and probably Tech 2 7th.
The Rag crossing in fifth spot. Sixth will be C-Tech.
Pretty close with
Oh,
Tech
and
2.
Tech 2. I think C-Tech's going to do it here
yeah.
at the windward end. Oh, keep going, boys. Keep going. Yep.
Yeah, don't put the tools down.
No, that's solid. Very good, C-Tech. Tech 2 7th.
Just by 2 boat lengths over Noakes. So they're
Noakes.
going a few places down the run.
Noakes 8th. 9th. Good battle here. Lazarus, Finport. Lazarus got the full gas on.
And
Oh, just hit the brick wall in the lee of Finport. So Finport will get 9th. Oh, Yandu will probably beat Lazarus. Finport. Yeah, Yandu, I think, 10th. Lazarus, 11th.
wow, pretty big fall from grace from the Finport, Jimmy. Unfortunate.
Just going the wrong side of the island there, right?
Yeah. Well, and then.
And a few, yeah.
Well, that was a pretty good race, wasn't it? I mean, it was very good performance by the Royal Oak.
Just noticed, Pete, like while we're watching the LV, Balmain Slake is making its way back over to the racecourse
Yeah,
area
good.
from Double Base, so
That's
it's good
good.
of him. Whatever was broken is obviously fixed, and get back out here for the next race.
Yeah, good. Breeze southeast, still about 11 knots, perhaps 12. There's Ilve coming in and 12th spot. Today's race sponsor.
So that was pretty interesting, wasn't it? Big angle changes, though, wasn't it? You know,
Yeah,
40
it was,
plus or minus 20.
well, interesting. The first time that there was no difference going right or left, but the second time, definitely left-hand side of the island paid.
Yeah.
As we're watching the Burrawang and Birkenhead Point Marina come into the finish. Burrawang with the blue spinnaker. We'll get next across. He's 13th. And the Birkenhead in 14th.
Ah, and the kitchen maker. Oh, dear.
He was up there early.
Yeah.
An appliance online, which a few people had to duck straight off the start, remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kitchen maker coming across the line.
Yeah, he's next. Then this is the kitchen maker across. There's Appliances Online next, and then the Queenslander behind him. Queenslander Bing Lee on the chute. Noakes Blue just ahead of the 18-footer bar and restaurant. Way in the distance, I think there's still one to finish. Is that Lazarus? Is that the Lazarus Developments,
yeah.
boys?
Yeah,
Yep.
Lazarus
So they're
Developments.
halfway down the beach, so we're a little way off getting the second race today, the 5th heat underway. So let's recap on that. Andrew, what do we make of it all after we finally got away?
Pretty tough day. Pretty
good race,
tricky.
though, wasn't it? Good
pretty
race.
good race. Pretty tricky stuff. And, you know, I think, you know, the first 2 minutes of that race was pretty extraordinary, wasn't it? You know, there was breeze turned right very much near the gun, and the boats that leapt into that, you know, easily led at the top. And it was pretty strange on the Nielsen Park side. There was a vacuum there of some magnitude, and obviously that wasn't there the second time though. So it's a very much have a look and see what might be coming, not any predetermined idea. All you have to know is are your eye left or not, and are you in the puff, yes or no? You know, and so it's a bit typical of this time of year, I suppose, and a bit typical of La Nina type weather. As we keep saying, hot water and cold air makes it tricky.
I think the thing is, Jimmy, that it shows that, you know, on their day, any boat can, well, majority of the boats can get out there and have a good dig at it.
Yeah, it's quite funny, like the Royal Oak, Four Pines, Aaron and the boys, they when we do like the JJs and things like that, where we're doing multiple days, they just get better and better and better and better. And there's the result. So see if he can go on with it for the next race. He's I don't think, you know, with Aaron's work commitments, he has much of a chance to go sailing and doing any much training. So, you know, these multiple days are obviously helpful for him.
Yeah, and you see, you know, I mean, going to sea every day, as we observe, that less experienced combinations do gather speed, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. And even, you know, older combinations, you just got to get back in the click of it, don't you?
Yeah. But, I mean, Jimmy, you know, we saw some fairly basic errors earlier in this regatta from
Very experienced guys.
from very experienced guys, and indeed from the winners, today's first race winner.
Yep.
They, you know, they tack with the jib overstrapped and went in the tide. They did a number of, you know,
Basic errors.
basic misadventures, and just, you know, maybe, you know, getting the neurons joined back together and the muscle memory back. Yes, we have to use a jib before we tack. All those basic things. Execution.
Yeah, just the little
Yeah.
1%ers everywhere add right up.
Yeah.
But I think it was good, as I said in commentary, that, you know, both the Royal Oak and Shaw and Partners held their nerve with two good skippers really breathing down their neck. I mean, guys that really know how to win in 18-footers, and Michael Coxon and Sevi Jarvan, you know, they weren't that far ahead of the weather mark, but they stayed strong and got the job done. So
Shaw and Partners doing it with a filling crew as well, you know.
Yeah.
Like, got Tom Quigley on there today instead of
No,
Lockie.
it's a good job, and they were ready to shoot themselves after the race yesterday when they, you know, were full of wobbles and maybe
You just sit them down, have a few beers with them and just explain.
No, I didn't explain anything. I just sympathised, and I sent Lindsay home early. There you go.
So the final boat's just crossed the line, but the news is here the breeze is right down, isn't it? Looking upwind, it's 12 knots at most.
Oh, straight out for the eye flag on the,
Oh, right, okay.
not mucking around.
Well, it's getting
yeah.
late in the day, Jimmy. We've got nav lights, have we?
They're on.
They're on already, right?
So generally lighter.
Bad visibility and generally lighter, yes.
Get the fifth race underway, and
So, Pete, this is probably just the effect of the warm water. It's probably still the same wind strength outside the heads at, you know, at Dover Heights, whatever. Just the boundary layer getting thicker.
so today's fifth heat, second race today, the fifth heat of the Australian titles, named after a great Queenslander, Norm Wright, another four-time Australian champion.
And what a fabulous bit of Australian boating, maritime history he brings, doesn't he, Pete? Phenomenal boat building record as a designer and a builder. Built some beautiful motor yachts, which are still treasured by their owners today. Built, including, you know, pre-World War II. A leading boat builder in Australia for quite a long period.
Yeah, it was sort of them, Normie Wright and Sons, and then
Yeah.
Halversons, really, wasn't it?
That's
It was your
right.
choices.
And Normie
And
Wright.
Billy Barnett.
Yeah,
for
Billy
your custom
Barnett,
stuff.
if you're in Sydney for custom, yeah. And Norm Wright was a good mate of Benny's as well, Pete.
Absolutely. I think he may have been the last Queenslander to win the JJs. I think he won it in 56. Is anyone after him from Queensland? I don't think there was.
No.
Okay, well, there's 5 minutes to go.
Wow, and the committee really not mucking around, are they?
Getting
Wow.
rock and rolling into it.
Been. Well, they're on overtime after 4 o'clock, so
And Norm Wright was part of our first ever America's Cup Challenge in 1962. He was also with Billy Barnett on Dame Paddy in 67. So there's a bit of nice symmetry with the two races today named after Bill Barnett and Normie Wright. But here we go for the fifth heat of the Australian titles, and it's the 100th running of this Australian Championship. Gee, it's light looking upwind now, Andrew. We got time for the big rig.
oh, Pete, which way are you going to go? You want to put the big rig back in? I get you.
Well, that's go right, isn't it? Go right back to Double Bay.
Well, the wind models had it turning right possibly at the end of the day, Pete. So, without wanting to preempt anything that might happen, in the back of your mind, that's the possibility.
4 minutes.
But we should put on record that our producer, Mr. Chittenden, advised us to put the big rig in today, but we declined because the other 23 boats have all got little rig in. Nobody listens to Chits, no. Not sure why that is, but...
How about Dustosaurus, Chits? Does he listen to you?
So the I flag is up, which will keep them well behaved, we hope. The breeze is only at the starting area, be lucky to be 8 knots.
So we're now going to test the real down range speed.
Yeah. So they'll be powering their rigs up, 3 minutes 20 to go.
And the committee boat end is favoured as the line sits. First man to the puff wins the race a bit, I think.
And where's the puff, though? Got to find it. One out to the right.
One out to the
Little
right.
one out to the right.
And not bad pressure
No,
at the
on the
committee
left,
boat.
yeah, Steel Point.
Yeah.
Okay, where are we
Just not
going?
here.
Just not where we are, which is to the starboard side of the committee vessel.
Yeah, so we're in Taylor Bay for the start of the second race today, the 5th heat of the titles. 2 minutes 45 to go. And starting line, Andrew, what do we think?
We're starting at the boat, Pete.
The boat, are you? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, those flags are flying pretty stiffly
That's
on
closer.
the committee boat.
Shipper's big righty coming, I think. High right coming.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you.
It's
Quite close than the pressure over on the left.
second time this week, Peter, be careful.
And only the second
People
time this
start
year.
talking about you blokes if you start agreeing too much.
2:15.
Second time in the last 45 years, it's all right.
There's that puff is dissipating though. There's a bit more coming too.
No,
I
there's
think.
more right and
Yeah.
more, yeah. So
2 minutes. They've got to be behaved. The I flag is up.
they've got to behave.
Yeah.
And most of the leading guys are towards the committee boat end of the line. Tech 2 towards the middle, perhaps.
Just recapping that first race today was won by the Royal Oak Four Pine with great performance. Shaw and Partners was second. So we've got 1.5 to go. And the breeze is up a little bit. It's starting to build across the course again. It's only about 10 knots maximum, 1 minute 15.
A little more coming from the right
Yeah,
here. Pete.
yeah, okay. Yeah.
So Tech 2 herding them up to the windward end, in fact, here.
1 minute, not many down the leeward end, that's for sure, down the pin end.
No. And
They're
Tech
all
2
up
doing
here.
a good job cramping the space. Wow. Smeg's over.
Oh, Smeg's in trouble.
He's got to go round the boat.
What's he done?
Burrowang's over.
He's 20 seconds.
There's a whole bunch of boats over.
A lot of yelling. 10 seconds.
No, to be a general.
Got to be a general here.
Yeah.
They're all over.
Wow.
Yeah. Bring them all back.
Poor Birkenhead there, just in the middle of the line, just got.
Absolutely
They're the
gassed.
only one's not over.
Lazarus and Smeg at the back of the queue.
And Noakes off screen is tangled up with C-Tech. You can see them there just at the right of screen. They're C-Tech capsizing. They tangled up with leeward wing of Noakes.
And a good line of breeze, Pete.
They're very good. Spike back in.
High right. Unbelievable.
And the black flag redeployed.
This cloud here, Peter, look.
They can't look at aim, mate. So,
We can take the upside-down drone shot, can't we?
no, we're looking at CTEC having a lie down. Had a bit of work to do, so having a little lay down.
Yeah. So the long day just got longer, troops.
Lucky we got a horn instead of the old gun.
Yeah.
Be out of shells by now.
That's right.
And the rag in the tide down there as well, rag and famish.
So enough pressure in that squall, Pete, that things are a bit frisky.
Yeah, it got nice breeze. Booted up again. C-Tech trying to get up after their capsize and tangle with Noakes.
We're going to miss happy hour at this rate.
Just going to the rag. Yes.
There's the rag. They're all over as well. They got 5th in the first race today. C-Tech was 6th. So there's Tech 2 in the background. 7th this first race. So if you've just joined us, the first race today, Royal Oak was first, Shaw and Partners 2nd, Andu 3rd, Smeg 4th. The Rag and Famish 5th, C-Tech 6th, Tech 2 7th, Noakes 8th, Finport 9, and Yandu rounded up the top 10. The Rag is still in the tide, as they say. And the breeze is down again here.
Still okay, low range, but down.
Yeah.
Down to back to 12 or something like that. But looking upwind, Pete, is more pressure coming through Rose Bay.
Yeah, and out to the right.
And some darker clouds, which suggesting colder air and a bit more wind coming.
More wind.
Yeah. And the black flag, so let's see.
Yeah, well, that will certainly keep them honest, you'd think.
Did last time.
Yeah.
Jimmy, come on.
Nice breeze out, looking between the start line at Taylor Bay and
Yeah.
Point Piper, isn't it?
14 knots
Yeah.
and high right. So let's see.
Long hold for the general, isn't it?
I think they're moving the
Yeah,
start
they're
line.
moving the pin a
The
bit.
pin.
Moving the pin up 50 metres, Jones, I think.
Some
On screen.
on the
Picture
screen.
maker.
Bit of work up the bow.
Some problem with the jib loft tension by the look of that.
There's 6 minutes. I don't think Baz has ever worked this long in a day, has he, Shipper?
We'll hear about it, that's for sure. And as we said, the Balmain Slate, they didn't start the first race today, but I think they're out here for this race. Jimmy, is that what you said? I think
Yeah, they
they're
are.
here somewhere.
They are.
Good on them.
Yep,
Yeah.
good on them.
Obviously went back to Double Bay to do a bit of repair work. So coming up to 5 minutes. We're in Taylor Bay. That two windward legs, two leeward legs. Short and sharp this course, not too much room for error. Good test of crew work and boat speed. Okay, 5 minutes. So what have they done with that line, Andrew? Have they moved it up far enough, do you think?
I don't think so.
No, it doesn't look like it. That's the line just at the bow of Rag and Famish. So again, it could be a congregation up here at the weather end. Some good little puffs again starting to appear up the course.
Yeah, a beauty coming down here.
Yes.
4 minutes to go. Bit of 16 again, just in the middle of that one.
There's the end of the shot there.
There's a pin, yep. Just,
Yeah. Behind the,
there it is. Just in front of them, there.
there's the checkered mark. That's the pin end or the leeward end of the line. 4 minutes to go. Black flag in play. Meaning they can't be naughty or get over this line or it's all over.
Seems to have gone more right, hasn't it, here, over the last 5 minutes?
Look at the position of the start boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strong outgoing tide. So, Andrew, we've got 3.5 to go. Which way are we going?
Well, I would think you have to get right now. Hard to see how the left could pay with the bruise this far right off the
Yeah,
line here.
puffs seem to be coming out of the right, don't they?
Yeah. And, you know, as I said, mentioned, the models had a prediction of persistent shift rather than oscillating. So at about this time,
We weren't meant to be racing at this time.
No,
but I always have a look at what's doing at 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock, Jimmy, just because.
is that when you're getting home, or what are you doing then, Bucko?
Changing pubs.
Changing pubs, but, you know.
Okay. $2.45. This is
And the black flag's got them all herded, hasn't it?
well, it certainly has now, miles away from the line. But anyway, we've got just 2.5 to go.
And just enough wind that it's too much wind to indulge in any karate fighting.
Yeah.
They got to just stay clean.
Fifth heat of the Australian titles.
You're going back to karate fighting instead of knife fighting, Bucko.
Whatever it is.
It's a
whatever
nice
it is.
puff coming in the middle of the race, the middle of the start line now.
Yeah.
Not that much behind it. Looks a bit steadier. Of about 12 knots. 2 minutes 10 to go. Yeah, and they're all up this end, the committee boat end, you'd say.
Look at it.
Coming up to 2 minutes. There's some good puffs in the right. Okay, we want the committee boat, I think, Andrew, and get onto port pretty quickly.
All right, thanks, Peter. Good,
Okay.
good call. Good call.
I'll tell you when to shoot on.
Yeah,
Minute
right,
45.
Yeah.
So, who's going to put the pedal down first? Here. So Smeg got himself a bit chicken winged up last time. He was way over the line, and
Well, he was over enough that he had time to go around the boat. It was
yeah,
okay.
he could start it properly. But he's advanced again in the middle of the line with at a minute 10 to go. Coming up to 1 minute.
And do a mile back.
And doing row F.
Well,
I don't know what they're
Double
doing.
F, I think, there, Bucko.
Is it?
coming up,
Special
3,
seating.
2, 1. There we go. 1 minute.
So nobody even plausibly near the line, really.
The most lured boat is SeaTech from the Queenslander. Now Smeg's going to heading down that way a little, but he's still mid-line. Andu is going to be right up here at the weather end. He's off screen at the moment. Yandu in the middle of the screen. Smeg's the most advanced, but he's well back from the line. 30 seconds to go. He won't want to advance himself too much. You'll see in a minute, there's the Royal Oak, today's first heat winner.
Still a big bunch in the middle, though, isn't it?
Yeah, there's Lazarus and Shaw and Partners. And soon to come, rocketing in will be Andu.
At the windward end.
Yeah, the windward end, that's what he wants. He's going to get it too.
He's let
8,
him.
7,
Yep.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, oh, go. Oh, Shaw and Partners. Close.
But Andu nice and clean at full speed.
Yeah.
And in range for all that crew weight.
Perfect, perfect. On now, was anyone over? That's the big question. No. They don't have to fly a recall. They don't have to fly a flag, a black flag. So you don't know.
Yeah, but Pete, I'm saying I don't think they were
Oh,
over.
okay, right.
Yeah,
Shaw and Partners was the closest, but anyway.
Yes.
Game on. Yandu and Noakes Blue, the first to bail out to go right. Terrific start by Andu, and Lazarus pretty good as well. Shaw and Partners. Okay, Smeg just tacking behind the fleet, a very old wobbly tack. They've given him a big start, Smeg. They're going out on port. Okay, this is the fleet on starboard, led by Andu. Breeze up, what, 12, 13 knots, perhaps 14.
Yeah,
Good
just
three-string breeze, yeah.
just good leaning back breeze at the moment.
This is the group going to the left. As you can see, the red insignia of Tech 2, he's doing well, but to windward of him is Finport, who had a couple of good moments in today's first race. He led at times. Appliance is online. C-Tech leads this group. Starts well, the Queenslander. He's done a good job. Above him, Birkenhead. And then Tech 2.
So, Pete, now it starts getting tricky for these guys on this edge. Looking up, less pressure at Nielsen Park where their bows are pointed at. One more big line coming out of Rose Bay. Tech 2 advancing pretty well.
There's Finport, Tech 2.
But
Birkenhead.
Finport also advancing pretty well. Here's Roddy's tack, Jimmy. Sorry, viewers, we're getting whistled at by one of the boats.
Couldn't go any further.
No,
It was almost back at Middle Harbour.
Not a heap of wind here at
No,
all.
it's quite soft. There's good breeze coming. There's some good puffs here, but it's not consistent.
And who leads?
Yeah.
Pretty
Right.
easily.
And a great puff where they are.
Yeah.
And really stepping out nicely.
Well, he hasn't tacked and
No,
come
it's-
off the windward end and leaned back.
Pedal down.
Fresh
yeah.
off the bench, Balmain Slate.
Just tacking now.
Just in
Looks
some
a
good pressure.
nice left-hander too.
Beauty.
Wow. Go.
Balmain Slate's up.
So I've just got confirmation from the committee vessel. No one was over, so we're all in play. There's good news. Balmain Slate and Shaw and Partners below them.
Sure, Partners might be in second, though.
Second last race.
They were, second in the first race today, and they're just getting some good little left-handers here.
It's nice and tricky, isn't it?
That is. At the moment, the boats that went right don't look that flash, but still got long way to go up to this weather mark. We're only about halfway up the beat, but that's the Andu leading from the group that have gone left. Shaw and Partners strong, as well as Balmain Slate, and then also there is Lazarus coming across,
Coming down.
and the Rag and Famish converging with Balmain Slate.
Run down.
So Harry Price wants the left, that's for sure. He's going to keep going here. Just looking for a bit of pressure here on the Rag. There's a bit rolling down in front of him. He'll get a little bit of it, get the tail end of this gust.
Yeah, he might be able to hook up a couple on this edge here, Pete.
Yeah, he's done a big downer here. He could go back on a ripper.
Yeah. Oh, he's pushing his luck on the left edge, though, isn't he? Gee
Well,
whiz.
he is. He was a bit dead and buried, so he had to try something. Yeah, he's got some. See the breeze coming down to him, rolling out of Rose Bay.
So, Andrew leads. I've found more wind on the edge of Shark over there, I'm pretty sure.
And I think the boats that went right have got pretty heavily punished.
Yeah.
They're all high on the left.
Yeah, I mean, so the high right at the start has been replaced by almost across the course, high left.
That's Andu going in towards the southern end of Shark Island. Behind him, Balmain Slate and Shaw and Partners.
Lazarus, Finport, Tech 2. Probably almost the order there.
Smeg well back. He got buried at the start. He didn't get a very good start. He bailed out and then had to take a lot of gas to try to get back into rhythm. There's Andu coming off Shark Island now.
repeat of yesterday afternoon, second race.
Looks a commanding leader. About 500 metres short of the turning mark. Shaw and Partners putting in a good day's effort. Just starting now to see a couple of boats that have come out of the right. Yandu and Royal Oak. Now Royal Oak went up there the first time and came out pretty strong. Hasn't really worked for him this time.
The Burrowang Hotel's the other one that's out there with them.
So those boats will be almost on the lay line or over the lay line, I think.
I think Noakes Blue's the only other one that went the other side of the island, Pete. Okay.
Yandu's not too bad, Pete. Yeah. He'll be over the line, over the... Oh, that's the Burrowang there. I thought it was the Royal Oak. It's Burrowang, is it, that other boat?
Royal Oak, Burrowang, Yandu, Noakes Blue, and there's another one which I think is Queenslander.
Okay, well, here's one Yandu at the moment. It should be tacking now for the lay into the mark. He's about 50 metres to come in, and he's a clear leader.
Oh, he smashed him again.
Absolutely. A good spiky wind coming out of Rose Bay, down through the gap over the Royal Sydney Golf Club. Going to have a good breeze to bear away in, and he will really hold a big lead. He's the form boat, isn't he, at the moment in this series? Yeah, round he goes. Sevi Jarvin, Matt Stedder and Sam Newton. Fine job. Oh, they're a good 30 seconds up on who's second? Balmain Slake, perhaps.
Yeah, Balmain Slake's going to get their second.
Yeah, good set on Yandu, as you'd expect. They run back between the boats coming up wind.
Plenty of wind.
Plenty of wind, yep.
Good pressure.
Oh, he's a good 30, 40 seconds ahead.
Yep.
Balmain Slake, Henry Larkin, Max Paul and Flynn Toomey.
Oh,
They'll be second.
Have a look at this.
We've got a bit of work to do here, and here comes, you'll see in the moment, Tech 2's got himself back into play. Oh, there's the Balmain round. Oh, there's a few port and starboards here. Oh, Tech 2 just gets in front of Royal Oak. They did another good job. They're third. The Royal Oak, first heat, first race winner today. Tech 2's round. Shaw and Partners is around. Then the Lazarus. Oh,
good pressure.
Then the Yandu screaming around the outside of the rag.
And the Yandu is gone down past Steel Point.
Yeah,
they have gone, yeah.
Put the glasses down, but for the peloton, not so much.
It's a good. There's Noakes getting around.
Good stuff.
There's Smeg now. He's got a bit of work to do, but good test for his speed. Ilve next. Then the Burrowang just tacking. C-Tech will go in front of him. You'll see him round in a moment.
Problem there on Ilve.
Ilve, oh, they've got more trouble than the early explorers here now. Oh, dear, oh dear.
Oh, it came out of the bag the wrong time.
Jono Whitty. Anyway,
I rescued it.
They have done.
God, never seen that for getting rescued.
The Birkenhead to get to set. C-Tech to lure to them. The big race is on, all on starboard jibe.
So I think a little bit of the problem there on the Ilve, what I've seen was the main, Spinnaker, how he was in behind the batten, in between that and the main, spreader and the mainsail, so it made it quite hard to pull it up.
Never recommended.
No. That's one of those things that can't be avoided unless you've got a Howie keeper and things like that. Small things.
Well, that's Yandu, way in the distance with the white Spinnaker, a clear leader. The orange chute of Balmain Slake is second. Then the Royal Oak is third. Jibing with the red chute is Tech 2. So the race really for second and third. Yandu has really flexed their muscles in a superb display. They are a good distance ahead. Down to the gate for the first downwind leg, one more windward leg, and then home on the downwind leg.
This chasing pack's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, fantastic. 1, 2.
Balmain Slate there on the screen, Pete. Boys man holding on.
The other two. Stop Balmain.
Great stuff. And there's Tech 2. He's got himself up into the close to the second or third. Balmain Slate is a clear second, but he'll have a lot of boats thundering up his transom as they're approaching the gate. Andu is round and gone.
Right in. Mark coming down hill's a long way
Yeah,
more
yes,
advanced than the.
Right, exactly right. So Balmain Slake's read that. He's got the jibe done. May have jibed a whisker early, perhaps. Maybe not.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, he's going to have to run square
a little bit flat for a while.
Here comes Tech 2. They'll be full noise to the mark and then just a conventional weather drop.
Yes, they'll be slow in here, Balmain Slake.
Here goes Tech 2 on the drop now.
Oh, Tech 2's going
You
to
get going the other
to
one,
the
which I
left-hand
think
mark.
probably is the wrong answer, but anyway.
Good job from the Balmain boys. They're around and sheeting her on. And there's a couple of 3 boats going to the left-hand mark. Here
I don't think
comes-
that's the right mark.
No, it doesn't look it, Jimmy, does it?
Long way, like, what would you say, 40, 50 metres further to sail times
Well,
two.
there's Lazarus
But
just dropping, and in front of them is Rag and Famish has snuck around.
Except
So
there's no wind here and there's plenty of wind over the other one.
Yeah.
not much wind, as you say, Andrew, at this mark where Lazarus is going around. Here comes Smeg in, running a bit flat as well. But they're going to sneak in front of Yandu and Noakes. Yeah.
Coco doesn't mind a bit of square running if needed.
Well, he's picked up a couple of places, but not much pressure. Yandu going around now. Noakes following him. There's more breeze out to the right. But Yandu's got a bit of good pressure as he goes round. Here comes Noakes.
And have a look at the angle difference between these guys and the guys.
It's massive,
Tech,
yes.
Tech 2.
Tech 2, you can just see him up there. He's about 10, 15 degrees higher than these boats at this right-hand
But
mark.
then very respectable bit of probably neutral direction-wise air coming down out of Rose Bay. We're about to see the Burrowang. Oh, no. Oh, no.
So there should be some good action here. Oh, there's SeaTech around. Burrowing, I don't know what he's trying to do. He's got no wind.
Kitchen maker coming in here. Hot.
Yeah. There's the Birkenheads around. Next, there's a big hole here. Ilvay.
Oh, the kitchen.
Oh, kitchen maker. Says, I'm going in there. Oh, Birkenhead's going to go into windward. Oh,
Kitchen make a pretty good jibe drop, Pete.
yeah, well,
Well, Jono gave him room that he didn't have to there.
Yeah, no, fair call.
Birkenhead just ran out of wind and just rolled back on top of himself.
So now 2 different breezes here, Pete. Some south-southwest and some southeast.
Yeah.
Incredible.
There's Noakes Blue and Appliances Online. There are a couple of the tail enders. And Lazarus Capital Developments will bring up the tail end. As,
And
Let's get out of here.
coming on a screamer.
yeah,
Can we get that?
there they come, just dropping the blue chute.
Breeze back up to about 16, 17
Yeah.
there.
Good pressure up the bay too to the windward mark.
Yeah, more coming under under the cloud, Pete. Get out the raincoats. The oil rigs, as Larry would say.
Oh, there's the kitchen maker just getting to lee of the ferry. He'll made a limit of him. There, they're all the way on starboard in really good spiky conditions, 15, 16 knots. Off to the western side of Steel Point. That's the best wind we've seen all day.
Yep, that's easily the strongest.
So this is playing right into Andrew's hands. He's just smoked up wind. Boy, he's a long way ahead. He's halfway up this beat. Another very stylish performance. There's Lazarus. It's Andrew way up in the to windward. There's Lazarus. That's the Rag and Famish. And you'll see in a moment, you'll see coming in is the Balmain Slate. He didn't do too well up that beat. He was very low. But there's Tech 2 and Smeg. Smeg's got himself into the picture, but it's Tech 2 will probably be second. I think it'll just depend how these boats that come off the Steel Point shore go, but
No, I think Tech 2's clearly second. Royal Oak third.
yeah, well, they're having a good day, the Royal Oak.
Yep.
The only threatening here will be Rag and Famish, who's just tacked. He likes that left-hand shore, Harry Price, left-hand track.
I don't think he likes tacking, Pete.
Oh, well. There's Smeg, so Rag's across Smeg, but not across Tech 2.
No, Tech 2's got a pretty solid buffer there, in fact.
Well, no, have a look at the Royal Oak up. He's up high on closer to Shark Island. The Royal Oak could easily be third after their win in the first race today.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the race for first is almost done and dusted. They'll really have to stub their toe badly on the Yandu to lose this one. So they're approaching the weather mark, but there's Lazarus just going behind Yandu.
So she's a good battle for like fifth or thereabouts, isn't it?
Well, even for second and third, it's still not done and dusted, but
The fat lady's warming up, Pete. Tech 2 tacking into a good bit of high left pressure.
Smeg looking for that left hand. There's Yandu going in for a bit more.
Big bit of high left here.
The Rag just going across in front of Smeg. And then a next boat to top of screen is the Royal Oak. Yeah, good, really good battle for second and third. But Tech 2's got second at the moment.
And do around the top mark.
Just wait here and watch them come down. You want to go up? Yeah, you go up. Nice, yep.
Yandu just behind Finport.
Yeah, so Smeg might burgle his way up to third here, Pete. Which would be a pretty good effort.
It would be a good effort and shows that they've got good speed, which we thought they had. But boy, the speed of
First and second on the
Andrew.
race course there.
yeah, there's first with the Spinnaker, second still going upwind. He's still got a fair way to go to the weather mark, but this is a massive lead in such a short race to Andu,
Well, that's how
Sevi
much-
Jarvan, Matt Stanter and Sam Newton. Boy, haven't they put a mark on this championship today
Yep.
in this race.
Balmain Slate fallen right from Grace.
Yes,
Obviously, they don't have any adjusters or something.
they look slow up that last beat.
They're pretty light. The big puff, they would have needed every bit of rig adjustment and another 40 kilos of crew weight probably. But
Yeah. Well, this is a class performance here that we're watching by Sevi Jarvan. Still no boat around the weather mark, and they're at Steel Point. They're halfway down the run, and still
Tech 2 now.
Tech 2 just around the
So-
weather mark.
A 135 lead to,
Okay, in
to
a
Andrew.
short race, that is massive. So it'll be the Royal Oak will be third. Just tacking now, and Smeg coming in fourth, I think. There's a couple hammering in on Port here.
Yeah, Smeg will be pretty close to Royal Oak when they set.
There's the Royal Oak around. Smeg fourth. Right on their hammer will be the Rag and Famish.
Yeah,
There's
so-
Smeg around. There's the Rag around. Inside goes Yandu. And right on their hammer is Finport. Good breeze to run to the finish now. Tech 2. Good set.
Good stuff here.
Yeah, great battle for second and third. Fourth and fifth. They're all,
Third and fourth there, Pete, on
Yeah.
screen. Yeah.
they're flying.
Come on down.
And but also coming to the party is the Purple Spinnaker. Oh, we're about to see an accident here, are we? No, they got out of it.
Yeah, they got
Jive without any rights or something there today. The boys think there's more wind on the Shark Island side, but Smeg's got clean away. I think the Smeg will probably get third from that position. So we got our eyes here on the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. There's Smeg to Leeward. Oh, it's going to be close.
it's very close for third.
Nandu's
Nandu
just
is-
crossed the line.
Andu is across. It's way in the distance. Fantastic performance from Andu. They got third in the first race today, and first in the second race. Here's a thrilling battle for third. Tech 2 clearly in second spot.
All right, Jimmy, who's your pick here? Smeg versus the other pack over there, Royal Oak.
I think the slightly older head on Smeg will get him home.
Yeah. That's what it looks
Gee,
like.
I don't know about, well, let's see.
Ah, come on, Pete.
Yeah.
Smeg looks like they've got just a little more pressure on average, but
There's good breeze coming behind them.
yeah.
Wow, this is going to be close, you're right.
The other one that's coming down the other side of us is Lazarus Capital Partners.
They're on the Clancy of the Overlay Department.com.
Well, remember, it's a very long line.
Yeah,
Okay,
no.
so he might be okay, and he's in plenty of pressure.
So just recapping, Andu is finished first, Tech 2 will be second. This is the battle for third. Between the Rag and Famish,
With the purple shirt just
Yeah.
jive. And we'll find
the
out
Royal
now.
Oak, Smeg, Yandu, and Finport. Okay. And the Rag looks as though they're across. Smeg going to jive inside them.
So we were incorrect. The
Yeah.
Rag has maintained their position. And even the Four Pines is back into it on the other edge.
Yeah, Yandu just ran out of gas when he jived, but anyway, here's the Rag and Smeg.
The Rag will get there.
The Rag will be third. Roads going everywhere here. So the Rag gets third. Smeg will get fourth. The Royal Oak's going to be a bit of a loser here, I think. Smeg
Yeah.
will get fourth.
Royal Oak's going to enforce his starboard tack rise.
You run out of racetrack.
He run
before
out of
he has to.
racetrack.
I think
Yeah.
Lazarus got there.
He did.
Lazarus,
just beat the Royal Oak.
Royal Oak.
Finport, Yandu.
Finport 7th, Yandu 8th. Well, that was a great battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shaw and Partners looks like they're 9th, and C-Tech probably 10th, Pete.
Okay. Yeah, plenty of breeze again now. There's Shaw and Partners and C-Tech. Shaw and Partners red Spinnaker, C-Tech white. And then Noakes dropped off the pace there. Balmain Slake will be next. Good job from those boys.
Yeah, the Noakes got in a nice fight up the beat, but they didn't win.
Well, it's been a long day, a long wait for a couple of races, but it's been well worth the wait. We've seen two fabulous races. As always, very exciting over this short course as Balmain Slake goes across and then Noakes. So the race, the 5th heat, clearly won by Andu. He was minute plus in front from Tech 2. Rag and Famish was 3rd, Smeg 4th and Lazarus 5th. And repeating this morning, or the earlier race today, Royal Oak was 1st, Shaw and Partners 2nd, Andu 3rd, Rag and Famish was 5th and Smeg was 4th. So a clear lead now on the point score, which is with 2 races to go. Andu with a very, very consistent scoreline of 1-2, 1, 3 and 1.
That'll win most regattas, won't it, Pete?
Yeah, Noakes Blue just going across. Unofficially, he's on 8 points lost, and then Tech 2 would be 2nd, Jack McCartney, with 19 points lost, and then 3rd would be Harry Price on the Rag and Famish. So we're just watching the Burrowang come down to the finishing line. So there it is. Heat 5 is done. 2 races remaining. Next Sunday, Heats 6 and 7 of this Australian title. Just watching the Burrowang come across the line. So, Andrew, a quick summary of today's racing.
Well, plenty of drama, pretty tricky tactically, but Andu pretty convincing, particularly the way they started the second race. And Tech 2 easily probably second best on the day, but with plenty to do to match the apparent upwind speed of Andu and their ability to get clean out of the line, which Tech 2's been lacking severely. Tech 2 relying on their downwind speed and good technique and tactics downhill to get back into the race, that they will have to improve significantly to threaten Andu in this championship and the next one.
Okay, well, we'll wrap it up now, I think, from the harbour. Been a long day. We had about 4 goes to get the first race underway. As we're watching Ilve come across the finishing line. Had to change the course, and the committee again did a pretty good job, and we saw 2 really good races. A terrific performance by Royal Oak in the first race. Aaron Everett to win that from Shaw and Partners and Andu. The ever-consistent Andu. And then the 5th heat, the second race today, was all Andu. Really stepped out and just kept on keeping on, and Sevi Jarvin, Sam Newton and Matt Stenter, marvellous performance to clearly lead the scoreboard with 2 more races to go. Tech 2 was 2nd the second race, and Rag and Famish 3rd. So from Sydney Harbour, and we'll say farewell. We'll see you next Sunday for the final 2 races of the 100th Australian Championship. So on behalf of Jimmy Bury, the Sale Media team and Andrew Buckland, I'm Peter Shipway. We look forward to your company next Sunday from Sydney Harbour. Very good afternoon to you.